professional.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem. Under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy, I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
Stomping the floppy shoes so hard, it'll lead to class delirious. You praying to stop so much, it's like you're having a religious experience. Despite all of your denials, I know that you know me. And your crew asked your girl the last time she phoned me. Allegedly, just admit that even now you sing along. And even after I wreck you, you gotta bump my song. You should copyright loser because the dictionary cloned you. Crushed so hard, now my cleats own you. It's that umbrella guy, clutching the verbal hammer, locking you down in this inescapable syllable slammer. You wanna step up and try to oppose me? Yeah, you should ask anyone that really knows me. I'll take your blame, your girl, your dog, and move in your home, only to get out the verbal flamethrower and consume your plastic gnomes. You drift, you whip, you ride, your bride consumed by this mic hitter, just to drop them on the market to the highest bidder. It's that umbrella guy, live from the hat rack, with elbows that hit so hard you'll think it's a nuclear impact. I mean respecting you, please, that's a word you'll never earn. Yet another lesson you clowns have never learned. Along with standing tall and pride and repping values that you feel, and not fake morals you found inside your happy meal. I listen to you with your speaking style education, wondering if your parents bred with their relations. Wearing your big red nose and still thinking that you're a star, while you're forced to bump that umbrella guy inside your clown car. Yeah, it's that umbrella guy, broadcasting live to the masses. Timing out full, sorry we ran out of free passes. We gotta go further and not just expose you. Listen and believe royalty, we gotta depose you. Getting masked up because this flow is criminal. Dropping hammers so hard, they're subliminal. Unconsciously you want me to own you, as the parasol pope is set to dethrone you. And I'm out.
All right. What's up, folks?
You got me so bad. I forgot all about it. And then
yeah, and I waited until it was live, and it was just setting right before the clip. I was like, ha, ha, ha.
I totally forgot.
Well, that's what makes that so funny with the professional thing is I won't think about it until right before we go live, and sometimes I don't even think about it. It just catches me off guard.
It got me.
Oh, it's so funny. So weird. What's up, folks? By the way, how's it going? Welcome to a Thursday edition of, let's go ahead and expose a fraud, a swindler, a cheat. And we'll talk about the expert witness too.
Oh, you got me there too. Man, you're on a roll.
Oh, no, man. Oh, man. Thursday already, too. It's almost a weekend. Oh, man. Got to go over that That Paul stuff yesterday too, with the lawsuit for him and Adam Waldman. Man, reading some of that, I got through about 40 something pages, and I was like, I can't read all of this. This is nuts.
Oh, it's crazy. Are you going to do the rest of them?
Probably not. What I'll probably do is I'm going to interview Paul. I'm just going to
Yeah.
give him his platform and talk to him about it. I think that'll be much more fun.
Well, you keep forgetting to tell everyone that I wrote the foreword for his book. So the extra bonus when you buy the book, The Accidental Fixer, you get to read my foreword to it. So that was fun. We collaborated on that.
The next book you write, I'm going to write the foreword. It's just going to be one word. It's going to be professional. That's all it's going to say.
Megan Fox is the most professional person.
See how many times you can work the word professional in? That would be hilarious.
Or the paragraph, the left side spells professional down the left column. People say that Megan Fox is medium smart. Really?
I say that's offensive, Oh my God. You have so much fun.
Furthermore.
Oh my God. That would be the funniest thing. It'd be my luck because I'd skillfully put that together, and then in the print they would mess it up somehow. I'd be like, no. People sound like, yeah, that was an interesting intro, Megan. Did you get a serial killer to write it or AI? What's going on here? Oh my God, man. It has been an interesting last few days. We're watching. Apparently, apparently there's a little kerfuffle. I like that word, by the way, kerfuffle.
I love the word kerfuffle.
Yeah, apparently there's a little kerfuffle popping up on the other side of things.
They're turning on one another. It's glorious.
Man. Yes, yesterday we had one channel decide that they were going to basically call out another one, and
big time
their DMs. That was amazing. It said a lot, to be honest.
Well, and I don't think that'll be the last one either. These people, they're all going to get mad at each other, and they're all such terrible people that they'll dump all each other's DMs. It'll be great.
Yeah,
it'll be hilarious.
One of them has actually been talking about all the other ones. Talking about I don't think they mind that I say that. I'm not going to say which one, but it's funny. They're already eating each other behind the scenes too.
Oh my God. I told you. I knew this was going to happen.
Yep.
When you lay down with vipers, you're going to get bit. Period.
Oh my God. And of course, we're going to talk about, since we've, we discussed the expert witness, the guy who says that Jimmy Hales wrote all those signs. We discussed it, and we tried to give Bruce, we're trying to get him to file that, because there's a lot of stuff about that guy that's out there. That's
yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of stuff out there. And I actually was doing some digging today, and I had it backwards. So Bart Baggett, who's the guy I'm familiar with, is his son. Kurt is his father. So it's the father that they hired, Kurt Baggett, not Bart, who's the guy that I sent that email to about Laura Owens, and he did that sort of like reading of her handwriting. And again, I find their type of handwriting analysis to be very similar to body language experts. There's a reason body language experts are not admitted into court.
I was thinking more along the lines of astrology.
Well, I mean, I think it's more like body language, because they're looking for repeat patterns. So I kind of understand it, but it's not that scientific, because they're looking to analyze your behavior through the way you write. And that's just not, it can't possibly be accurate all the time. And a lot of the things that they say really sound so generalized, like anybody would be like, oh yeah, I do that. In fact, I've got a great video at some point. If you want to see what Kurt's analyzing is like, there's a hilarious video of him on a news clip giving the news anchors his readings.
I found a pretty funny back and forth in a case where yeah, here, let me just pull up a little clip of this one here. I don't want to take it out of sequence, but I do want to show you, talking about that method. Here it was, are you familiar with the saying, garbage in, garbage out, referring to his methodology?
Who wrote this?
This is about a case that he was involved with, and this is a lawyer actually taking him apart. And holy crap, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of fun stuff with that person, though.
Well, I think it's fun. Like, I think it's kind of like a fun thing to analyze and talk about. I just don't think it should be used in court. I think if you're going to use handwriting analysis, it should be about comparing whose handwriting is whose.
You mean you're not supposed to be like, oh, you see the way they slant their T a little bit? Well, that probably means that, they were, their father was a serial killer. And you're like, what does this have to do with anything?
In one of them, the clip that I found, he literally tells someone, this person had a traumatic experience at the age of 12. And I'm like, what? You cannot tell that from somebody's handwriting. Stop it.
Well, there's been a lot. There's been a lot. There's been a lot, as in, let's actually, I guess that'll be our first topic today. That sounds like a good one. By the way, I do want to note something for you. Carolyn Bass is professional. Sticky Widget also whispers professional.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah, I thought, man, I got to throw those in. Oh man, I mean, Megan and myself, we were going to talk. We wanted him to file this thing because it'd be fun, but they've proven that the only reason that this document exists, at least this is my opinion here, and I believe you share this opinion, is that this isn't speaking to a court of law. This is supposed to sway public opinion, Oh,
absolutely. That's the only reason why they're not. They had no intention of turning this into court, and we have proof of that because that's what he is. That's what what's his name is saying. What's his name? I don't even remember. The lawyer. The lawyer now says we have it if we need it. Wait a minute. You spent $5,000 on a handwriting analysis that you don't know if you're going to use? That makes zero sense.
Yeah, that just says that they tried to sway that, oh, let me tell you this thing, and it's like, sure. The first time I tripped across him was looking at Facebook. Let me pull this up here. So the first time, and this got me really curious. I was like, I wonder who this guy is. Because there was a discussion about who is Kurt Baggett, a fraud,
Oh my
hoaxer,
God.
a bluffer, question mark, of course, question mark, allegedly, let's say. According to U.S. District Court in Tennessee, Baggett has no valid training as a document examiner, has qualifications were quote unquote clearly paltry in comparison to other document examiners. Clearly paltry in comparison. I mean, think about that. That's like saying
that's not good.
No, I was going to hire the worst person in the class of whatever, but then I found somebody that was even worse.
Wait, please tell me that you have the court document that has it all in there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There's more than just this. Anybody could be
this
like,
is just
well, this is just some ne'er-do-well on Facebook who has a problem with him, right?
oh yeah, no, we're just we're getting
We're
to
just going over the bullet
how we got
points.
to him. Yes, this
Yeah.
is how we, you know, how we get to that. And then there's plenty of documents talking about all the times, plus some cases just to boot, you know, pulled them up by themselves. So, not a member of the ABFDE. Man, that is really a waste, by the way. They should have been the ABCDE. Couldn't they make that work? You know, I mean, come on.
Yeah, that would have been more, what's the word? Poetic.
Yeah, when I'm looking at this as you know, I'm not really a handwriting expert, but I'm gonna say that clear. No, I'm just playing. Wonder what that does say about the person, according to handwriting. You know, if they're talking about personality, how about the person who had to change the F? You know, that's a failing grade. F means failure. Hey, Megan, by the way, again, Wanda, thanks for 5. Sim, Megan, Sim.
Yes, we forgot to make our announcement. We forgot to make the big
Oh,
announcement.
yeah. So, Megan,
There's a very big
I,
announcement.
yes, I will turn the microphone over to you because this is a huge announcement, if you would.
Well, folks, look, the last 20 some years in journalism has been very exciting. It's been very frustrating, at times maddening, very sad work that I've done over the years. But recently, in the last couple of days, I have discovered my calling for my retirement. I am announcing that I am giving up journalism entirely to become a full-time gamer on YouTube. My God, I got this message today. I've only done 2 of these gaming streams, right? And I got a message on YouTube today. It said, here, let me read it to you. And this is so funny. No fun. I am not allowed to have any fun, Tug. There will be no fun on this channel. I hope all your new videos. Wait a minute. I need a voice for this.
I hope all your new videos are not like this one or your previous one. Contrary to what you may think, not everyone likes gaming videos. If I wanted to watch a gamer, I would find one and subscribe to their channel.
Well, I have good news for you, Karen. If you want to find a gamer and subscribe to their channel, you're already subscribed. Good. So you found me. And yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to give it up entirely, but I am in need of a lot of fun right now. I've been going nonstop. And this stuff is so stressful. I've got 2 lawyers in 2 cases I'm covering threatening to sue me.
Yeah.
2. So,
Well,
you know, can I have a break? Can I have a little bit of a break? Does anybody mind if I take a break and build Turtle Purgatory in Sims for a while?
no, I don't think you get to. I don't think you get to at all.
It's not fair. Everyone wants me to like nose to the grindstone. Actually, not everyone. That's not true. A lot of people are having a great time watching. And my God, today on in the game, you know what happened? My Sims characters that I created, John and LMNOP, we found out that John, and this is the game doing it, not me. It is the game. John's gay. The game wanted him to flirt with Ted, who is one of the townspeople, and Ted liked it, and they had like a little thing going, and then Ted died, unfortunately, because that's what happens in Otter Creek.
Oh no, poor Ted.
Yeah. Yeah, Ted got set on fire and died while Judge Grudge was explaining to him how fire safety works. And he was just standing there and he wouldn't put him out. It was terrible. Judge Grudge was to blame. We think he's, you know, part of the murder of Ted. It's terrible.
That is horrible stuff. No wonder you need I don't know. I don't know if you're breaking the gaming sense that's safe, to be honest.
Well, I know that you guys are like, you're saying like, you must have said it that way. I swear to God, I was trying to repair his and LMNOP's relationship. And it wasn't going well. They hate each other. And then all of a sudden the game said that my goal for the day was for John to flirt with Ted. So I found Ted at the bar. I gave him the flirt and it worked. I don't know what to say, but the game thinks that John is gay.
That is very professional.
Oh
Oh my God. I just noticed, by the way, when I said that, look, in the next 3 words, it's going to bring up professional. Look at that. Let's telegraph it. Okay. Back to this. This is serious here. Let's, okay. He had no valid training. Qualifications clearly paltry in comparison. Not a member of the ABFDE, the only professional organization in the field of document examination that offers certification. He was not certified by any of the 20, get that, nationally recognized document examiner trade organizations. I don't know which is more shocking.
So strange.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's not certified or that there's 20 national recognized. That's quite a few. He has not subjected himself to any sort of proficiency tests or regular peer review. He's never authored any authoritative text in the field. He has never received training in notable government training programs, has never taught in a recognized program for his field. He received his training not from a recognized or accredited program, but from Dr. Ray Walker, whose own qualification as a document examiner or suspect. Now, that's from one trial. Now, I pulled trials, by the way, just to have the court with what they say, because I don't, again, like Megan said, these are just bullet points. This was the thing that led me to it, and I'm going to note a couple of things off here. West Virginia determined that Baggett was not qualified to offer testimony as a forensic document examiner, that he lacked formal training, that he had never been, quote unquote, certified as a forensic document examiner, that he lacked
Remember forensic examiner, forensic document. It's two different things. Behavior analysis through handwriting is not forensic handwriting analysis.
It's just so fascinating that all of this, I was like, did you guys not look up that name like before you threw that out there?
Who doesn't Google a guy when you're paying him $5,000 for real?
I straight up, I was like, Megan, like right after I heard about that, I was like, first thing I was like, did this get filed? Maybe I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure. And then I was like, well, I just looked this name up. Look at this. Oh, wait, here's another one. Look at this one.
Oh my God.
Flooding in all these.
Yeah, they just kept coming and coming. It's like, oh, phrasing. I shouldn't have said that. That was
phrasing.
Anyway, that we just kept finding them, all these documents saying that this guy is, not qualified. I can't believe, and this was a basic Google search, you guys. This was not a Pacer search.
Oh no, no. These are just Google search parameters, and it gets interesting as we go through here. So that he.
By the way, the chat wants to know: is it for sure $5,000? No, I don't know. I just know that that's a base price for most experts. I have no idea what they actually paid him, if they paid him anything at all. But they also keep saying that he's the #1 handwriting analyst in the whole nation. They keep repeating that. I'm sure that's something he puts on his marketing, because you can say that. You can say world's best cup of coffee and not actually have won any competition saying you have the world's best cup of coffee. You can also say I'm the world's greatest handwriting analyst. No one's going to, who's going to care?
That's what I say. I'm going to start saying that about me. I'm the #1.
#1 YouTuber on earth.
No, I'm a handwriting expert. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just skipping right to it. Why not? I mean, hey, anybody else can say it. I can too.
Yes, you can. Apparently, you can.
So that he lacked any meaningful education, training in the field. They concluded that opinion testimony offered by him would not have carried his. Look at this. Well, is he reliable? No. Is it going to carry reliability? No, not to support its probable accuracy.
Wow.
That's amazing. Tennessee said they were troubled by his criminal history. Now, I've not looked any of that up. I've not. Again, this is
Don't
not on
worry.
post.
Don't worry. They cover it in the court doc. He has a freaking criminal history, you guys. A criminal history.
He received felony convictions for theft and aggravated assault dating back to 89 and 98 respectively. Hey, at least, hey, that's interesting. 89, 98.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
I wonder if his handwriting would tell me that. You know?
You had a run-in with the law in the 80s, maybe 90s, maybe both.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
He also received deferred. Wow. So he pled guilty to misdemeanor offense of tampering with government record in 2000, which stemmed from his failure to truthfully disclose his criminal history on a government form. Fascinating. The court recognizes that even the most recent of the events occurred nearly 12 years ago. These incidents greatly detract from his credibility. Now, in Brown versus State of Texas, testified that he was a psychologist, hypnotherapist, psychotherapist, and graphologist. Wait a minute, that doesn't fit, does it? Psychologist, okay. Hypnotherapist, psychotherapist, okay. Graphologist.
Well, a graphologist isn't that a writing expert? Isn't that what graphology is?
Yeah, you know, all of these, one doesn't fit with the others, does it?
I think that refers to the strokes of the pen. The strokes. Oh God.
Yeah, it's
phrasing.
It's a handwriting analyst that infers a person's. So it's here it goes. I pulled it up. Here's the AI overview. It's a person who studies graphology. Whoa, thank you. Which is the analysis of handwriting to infer a person's character or personality.
Huh. That's what graphology is? Okay, so
Yes.
that's the thing that's behavioral writing or whatever. I do think it's more closely related to body language than anything else. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's total garbage necessarily, but I like the way that I also think though that body language is the same sort of thing that every human being knows because you've been reading body language since you were born. So it's not something that's why it's not a science. It's like a feeling that you have. But yeah, astrology, it's kind of close.
Later, he retracts his testimony, testified that he's not licensed as a psychologist, a psychotherapist, and has not practiced therapy full time. Wait.
Wait
a minute.
He's not. So he's not a psychologist or a psychotherapist. He just said that he was.
See this next
real estate. The actual
financial planning.
Okay, that's weird.
Thus, the court concluded Mr. Baggett lacks the necessary qualifications to testify at defendant's sentencing hearing as an expert in the fields of document examination and handwriting analysis. The decision is further justified by the additional concerns raised regarding Mr. Baggett's credibility. The judgment in conclusion, and there's a few of these that go like this. In conclusion, the court, that would be the U.S. District Court of Tennessee, will exclude the testimony of Mr. Baggett and strike from the record any testimony that is offered by Mr. Baggett as part of the defendant's hearing today. Interesting. Early in 2006, and again, I didn't look all of these up, but there are definitely cases for much of this stuff. You can pull the documents on many of these. But earlier in 2006, Baggett's quote unquote expert opinion on handwriting had sent one car to jail in a murder case. Like this time on, so they're talking about, he has gone on record a few times and said that he is sure that something that's going on in the media, 100%, like we're going to talk about the John Benet Ramsey one that comes up here. I'm going to pull the document in just a second on that how he was 100% sure that somebody's handwriting proves something, only to have that, not work out very well. But just like this time, back then, too hyped his findings in the media, only to cut a miserably sorry figure when the DNA test proved his findings wrong. Oh my goodness. That would be terrible, right?
Yes.
Someone has given an insider view of this quote-unquote expert. The number one determining factor in the cases he was paid to analyze is the fact that the client needs a yes or no answer, and money can and does pay for expert witness Kurt Baggins. I'm sure that the coloring and measuring tools in his quote-unquote science looks like child's play, but he's no kid. He is a tax evading, foul-mouthed, highly compensated yes man whose opinion is as worthless as his portfolio. Wow,
okay,
hold
on a second. By the way, this is when, see, here's the thing. People like the elder statesman who demanded that no one should try to poke holes in this man's report because this is 100% real. He literally said that. 100% real. No one should try to tear this down. Those are the kind of people you should never listen to because they don't know anything about the court system or how it works. They don't know about experts. They don't know how you can find experts to pay them to say whatever you want. I mean, like, for instance, remember the Laura Owens case? She had Dr. BOMBSHELL, who was like an ancient guy who literally said you can get pregnant by a blowjob. For real, that's what he said. That was his you can pay anyone to say anything. And this is clearly one of those people.
Well, I got to deal with an expert witness once, and they had a contract which included that there was a little section at the bottom, and courts will force you as you throw away your rights in court, pretty much. But they had a clause in there that said that in the case of willful wrongdoing, willful, again, they have their specific wording for that, but in the case of willful wrongdoing, you agree not to sue them for any more than you paid them. I was like, wait a minute. Could you imagine doing that in anything else? Could you imagine, hey,
no,
if you
that's
built
crazy.
if you built my house.
Uh-oh, Tug's a robot, or I am.
Help me. It's probably those hamsters. They're like,
it's not good. It's not good, Tug.
Help me out
to make it stop.
It's really, really bad. All of a sudden, is it me or is it Tug? Yeah, it's a robot for you guys too. Okay.
Oh my God! I'm gonna go out and back in.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that. Something's wrong.
I'm coming back. 1 minute.
All right, folks. No worries. No worries. Let's see. I will take over. I have the power. By the way, Jeremy Hales is building a vet clinic. That's what's happening in Sims right now. Are you back? I see you, but I can't hear you.
There's multiple me's here. Look at this.
Look at this.
Tug. Hey, how you doing, Tug? I'm gonna have to kick the other me out. There is a robot in here. Look, it's a Terminator.
Oh my God.
You know, it'd be funny. I should have popped in and said, hey, I just woke up, Megan, I overslept. And then there was another me.
That's a really good idea for a short story. You
That's
should.
hilarious. You know what's really bad about this? I can't tell which one's me.
Oh no!
I was going to kick one out, and then I was like,
Wait,
"Wait a
I
minute."
should have made it. I should have made it really, really confusing. I could have done this, and then we really wouldn't have known.
Oh my god,
Ah,
that was so weird.
that was super weird.
Totally.
Don't do that again. I do not like it. I would like it to stop.
I was just preparing for our AI overlords. That's all it was. I mean,
I should
sometimes
put on
you
my
gotta
robot fox.
do. Yes. By the way, if you enjoy this channel, make sure that you like, subscribe, and if you'd like to chase off the evil robots, make sure that you go further. Breadsticks. I hear that robots are really afraid of breadsticks. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe one of these days you can get Starlink or something up there in the Tennessee mountains or wherever the hell you are, where you can get good reception.
Starlink. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Foul mouth tax evading. He uses and verbally abuses the employees, whom, in order to remain employed, become his scapegoated slaves. Wow. A man that always has too much to say and very little of it nice is never wrong and can prove it. He is, for some reason, a forgery and fraud expert and practices his craft.
Yes, for some reason.
You're still a robot. You know that. You're still a robot, by the way.
Oh no! Oh no! I did not know. No.
You were like,
Narrate. No, in fact, I did not know.
I was like having drinks with the Terminator.
I apologize
Oh,
for my
shit.
bad sound deck manners.
Oh my god, that was funny.
That's why I always turn on Hear Myself when I turn on the Stream Deck, just in case, like, I forget, and I didn't do it that time. And you see what happens.
Well, like Tastic says, praise our AI overlords. Yes, indeed. I like this one too. Suzanne is like money for foil hats to keep out AI. And then chase them away. Chase them away. Oh, that's a pretty good one here. Now, again, this is just them, somebody that knows. So again, I don't know who's supposedly said this, but again, we'll get to some real evidence. He practices craft on every QDE letter he has prepared for presentation as evidence that bears the Notoriety Act of JC. I could go on, but why, as my opinion is not paid for and is given today as only a comment, use your own judgment. Now, when you go through this too, there's actually commentary in one of these links. It goes to, give me 1 second. Actually, I think it's this one. Let me check this one. Let's follow the link. Yeah, it's so there's actually there's discussion about the John Benet Ramsey case. There's a little
What?
Yeah, here they discuss it. I'm going to pull this up. So the end of Kurt Baggett's career. So they're talking about, actually, let me pull up the article that they're referring to here. So this is the statement that he gave back in the day, talking about Carr. Now, you remember John Mark Carr, right, Megan?
I do. He was the weirdo he was a teacher or something, and he was living overseas, and he confessed to the murder of John Benet, but they discovered that he had an alibi or some nonsense, and he was just one of those weirdos who would confess to things. But he was super, super like obsessed with her. It was gross.
So here's an expert. 1 in a million chance Carr didn't write ransom note. 1 in a million chance he didn't write it, by the way.
Yeah, but the guy had an alibi. He wasn't in the country
Yeah.
at the time or something.
Yeah, so this is when 2006 there. So this has a partial transcript. Let's look through this. So John Gibson, the host, says, handwriting experts have been whipping out their microscopes to examine the old yearbook signed by Ramsey's suspect, John Michael Carr. Many have found similarities between the yearbook note and the ransom note left at the crime scene in Boulder. My guest is going to go out on a limb. He says the chances are 1,000,000 to 1 that Carr didn't write the ransom message.
Oops.
Whoopsie. 1,000,000 to 1. Kurt Baggett is a handwriting analyst, founder of the School of Forensic Document Examination in Texas. So, Mr. Baggett, there's 3 letters that you say are very important: the A's, the F's, and the T's.
Oh my
The
God.
ATF. Wait a minute. Oh my God. ATF. Oh no, he's a narc.
Oh no.
We're going to go on. We're going to go and show them on the screen. Why do you think they indicate that this is Carr's, that the ransom note is Carr's writing? So it goes on. I'm like I said, I just want to read this. It's not too long, it's not terribly long. It's worth seeing. Again, because this is somebody that's trying to say that, 100% that Jeremy actually wrote those songs, right? So just like this guy here, again, 1,000,000 to 1 odds that he didn't write something. Said, well, they match. And they're very, very similar. And there's probably a dozen other traits in the handwriting that I look at to be almost the exact match. You just can't have that many similar traits without the same person having written it. Wait a minute. Huh. So it has to be that, Megan. It has to be. There's no way. Obviously, the alibi and everything else, that has to be dead wrong. Obviously.
No, it's not obvious. I'm sorry. I'm not following. It's not obvious. Obvious thing is not obvious.
No, this is an expert, right? And as the elder statesman told us, you cannot question this person. I mean, they are 100%, Megan.
Good Lord.
I looked at some really, really good forgeries sometimes. And of course, it would have been hard for someone to forge his handwriting. So we're looking for similarities. We look at different letters, slants to writing, beginning strokes, ending strokes, and all the little peculiar things that you can't see unless you look under a microscope. And my examination reveals that the evidence says that the same author wrote John Benet's ransom note and that high school annual. Again, the one that they're saying, yes, proves that this person did it. And also the application for a school job that John Carr did. So he's asked, I believe you said 99.9%, and that's always there's a 0.1%. That's always the play thing. There's that 0.1%, so they can say later on, oh no, I wasn't saying 100% sure. So 99.9%. That's awfully darn high. In fact,
really high. And also it's very strange. Normally when people, when experts will give their, opinion, they will say to the best of my certainty, they will say, to the best of my medical certainty or my expert certainty, but they won't say, they don't usually say like a 90, although MedChill did.
Yeah.
MedChill said 99.9.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if Jeremy's expert report used a percentage. Do you remember if there was
I don't. More likely than not is something you hear quite a bit.
I think the phrase she used was, in my expert opinion, to the best of my certainty. I believe that's what it was.
It's just fascinating. Well, if you're really trying to draw people in and say, ooh, well, that has to be 99.9. So again, you can't claim 100%. In fact, there's been lawsuits over 100%. We've seen, we've seen everything from toothpaste to whatever claiming, yes, this 100% works. But his answer to this being, I guess you would say it's conclusive. And he says, yes, it is to me. That's my professional expert opinion. I don't take the case unless I think I can go to court and prove it. And so it's always 100% or nothing.
What?
Huh.
Yeah, but that doesn't even make sense, does it?
It's 100%. Wait. It's 100% or net. Wait, but you said 99.9.
Oh my God. I'm confused. Yeah. So he said 100% or nothing, but then he says 99. I don't get it.
If I can't, I think that this is overwhelming evidence because there are so many similarities that it has to be the same author. Okay, something is asked. Well, let me look at these letters again. The A, F's, T's. I guess there's one other letter in the double box that we have to show. Again, he's got a graph up here, but we don't have it. This is from 2006. I mean, we're talking almost 20 years ago. So in the double box, shows the letters compared. I'm looking at the A's, and they look alike to me, but I'm not an expert. What is it about them that makes them so distinctive that you say that they absolutely match? And he says, well, the A's have a little cover on them, and they're the same size and shape. And at the end, on the bottom, many of them go out to the right, which also is the same thing, which happens with the L's. If you notice the double L's, they go to the left. So he's, talking about all these letters. Again, I'm not going to beleaguer that, but he's like, look at all of them. And again, you've got to remember, this is huge headlines at the time. So he's going out, and if you look up his name with Jean-René Ramsey, you'll find quite a few articles from that time where he's doing interviews like this. He's putting his name to this case. So one quick question there. What about the SBTC? The shall be the conqueror in the school yearbook, and then under the signature, the ransom note. I think that's a strong indicator it's the same person. Well, it appears to be, but that would be speculation because there's no evidence of that. But it seems very uncoincidental if it's not. Thank you. Handwriting analysis says 99.9%. Now, speaking of that, there are many cases. In fact, I want to read this one first. This is really funny. So there was a case about let's say prawn and mutilated dolls is what the headline says. Okay. That's apparently, yeah. So I'm not putting the headline up there, but handwritten addresses on packages of prawn and bloody dismembered dolls were at the center of a trial Wednesday between a plastic surgeon and a Victorian business owner who was once his landlord, patient, and friend. Although both sides' attorneys said their client, the doctor, Gary whatever, 3, and plaintiff Warren A., had received packages meant to intimidate them, they could not agree on who sent them. It's a match, testified handwriting comparison expert Kurt Baggett. About handwriting, he compared from the packages and prescriptions made through this doctor here's office. But during cross-examination, the doctor's attorney, Paul S., revealed that the prescriptions used by Baggett in his analysis were in fact penned by at least 3 nurses at the plastic surgeon Victoria practice. So
what?
The handwriting sample that he used to say this dude 100% did it were in fact penned by at least 3 nurses. Yes,
different nurses.
That's what the headline is saying.
My God. This is crazy.
Only the signatures on the prescriptions, they were his. So only the signatures, but everything else being compared.
3 different. So he mistook this guy's handwriting for 3 different people's handwritings. This is not a good look. This is not a good look for anybody.
Then we get. Are you familiar with the saying "garbage in, garbage out"? The lawyer said to Baggett, referring to his methodology. I was mistaken. Mistaken in that. That's again, we're not supposed to question this person though.
Yeah, I thought he was 100% or nothing. What do you mean you were mistaken? Well, that's not a thing, right?
Yeah, well, especially when you're going out and you're saying things like, this guy wrote these signs. This guy basically, he wasn't harassed. He didn't have these people trying to ruin his life. Oh, no. It was him doing it to himself. Da-da-dun. I mean,
That's insane.
So let's see if there's anything else in there. Now they talk about the suit and everything. Again, you get the idea of what's going on there. But there's other trials. Now, give me 1 second here. So I pulled up. Let me see. I didn't want to go crazy. You know, we have the giant document, but there was one or other one. There was an order and recommendation that I thought was kind of interesting. This is the opinion on.
Oh, this is epic. This is epic.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get, and I hope the elder statesman is watching, because he told everybody that this guy's report was 100% true, and no one should try to tear it down. Just don't even look into it, folks. Just accept it as 100% true. This,
like I said, I wanted this jackass to be put into court, but they didn't plan that. Again, they planned on setting this out here, and you know, they wanted to just dump on Jeremy Hale.
No. Let me correct you. They wanted to defame him some more.
Yes, that is a much better way.
And they used this fraud report to put it out in the public without it ever going into court. So they will not have anything to rely on if they are sued for more defamation because of this report. They will not be able to say this thing was entered into court, and so we had a reasonable belief that it was true. It was never, the lawyer himself didn't believe it, because if he had, he would have entered it into court.
Yeah, that's a weird place. So, Bruce, you can either enter this into court where it will be torn apart because look at this shit, or you can sit out here and just add to the defamation.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. The only reason why they got this thing and why they're not putting it into court is to further defame Jeremy Hales.
Whoopsie, 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 whoopsie. Now, if you look through this, you know, again, okay. Let's just read some of this. I mean, it's fascinating. So, plaintiff brings this action in mortgage fraud against defendants Bank of America, Rally Credit Solutions. The matter is before the court on defendant's motion to exclude plaintiff's expert, Curtis Baggett, from future motions, hearings, and any trial on this matter. So plaintiff's response in opposition, defendants reply. The plaintiff also filed a supplemental memorandum in opposition to defendant's motion to exclude. So you can see all the filings. You know, in addition, the defendants moved to strike plaintiff's supplemental memorandum in opposition to defendant's motion to exclude. So you can see all the motions again. Background. This is where I want to get. I want to get into the background and talk about what happens here, and then the opinions. So plaintiff originally filed this action in state court. The court was removed at district court April 22nd, 2014. Court issued calendar order, established following deadlines. So they talk about all their deadlines on it. September the 10th, 2014, plaintiff filed a notice with the court identifying Kurt Baggett as a handwriting expert. Attached, again, are the two reports, expert's first report, forensic report. In the expert report, Mr. Baggett states that he examined and compared 6 documents with known signatures of plaintiff to quote-unquote question documents that purportedly bore plaintiff's signature. Mr. Baggett identifies the question documents as loan documents with First Franklin Financial Corporation, gives the date. He opines that, quote, based upon a thorough analysis of these items and from an application of acceptable forensic document examination tools, principles, and techniques, a different person authored and forged plaintiff's name on the question documents. Attached to the report, Baggett's background information and documents bearing the signatures he compared. The forensic report includes his, basically when you see, again, this is going to include his background. Okay, that's what that's saying.
Mhm.
The documents bearing a signature, he compared basis and reasons for his expert opinion, a list of approximately 100 cases in which he states he has, quote unquote, been qualified and or appointed by the court as an expert and or has testified in trial or by deposition from 2005 to 2014, a list of publications he's authored. After plaintiff filed the expert report, the court extended the deadline to discovery. They talk about how that went. Subsequently, let's see, I'm trying to get past all the motion discussion, because there's a lot of discussion in these kind of documents. This is a long document, but it's worth it.
Oh, it's nuts. It's
Oh, man.
absolutely nuts.
So this is preliminary. I'm trying to get to the here deficiencies. You can see them talk about. Actually, I don't want to skip too much, because there's some interesting things that pop up in this. They talk about the time there, deadlines again. Plaintiff waited 2 more months, May 15th, seeks supplement his expert report a second time. This was 8 months after September 14th deadline. You can see them actually stretching deadlines there. Plaintiff has not offered a reasonable explanation for not including information about that. So you can see they're causing problems in that. They did not notify plaintiff of any deficiencies in Mr. Baggett's original expert report until February 2015. Oh, wait a minute. Deficiencies? Wait, what? Oh, no, that's not good, right? However, defendants were not required to name an expert to defend against plaintiff's claims in the lawsuit. Further, plaintiff has not alleged how defendant's omission inhibited plaintiff's ability to file a complete expert report, and so on. You can see. So they're like, okay, let's go through that. Let's see.
The expert report wasn't complete.
Yes, they're telling you it wasn't complete. They had to file other items and so on. Now, where is that freaking? I wanted to give the whole background because they talk about his background here.
Okay, the motion to exclude plaintiff's expert is where you will find it.
This is where I want to go. Yeah,
that's where all the crap is.
So
I like plaintiff disputes each of defendant's contentions. Every one of them.
Yeah, because they have a lot of data. Now, again, they have information that's interesting through this, but I don't want to sit here for 2 hours and read you this document to get to the juice, So introduction. Plaintiff moves to exclude, our defendants exclude plaintiff's expert from these proceedings on the ground that plaintiff did not file. The expert did not timely file the expert report. The expert report fails to comply with the requirements of federal rules, and Mr. Baggett does not qualify as an expert. Oh, wait. Doesn't qualify? What, dude? How is that?
What? I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, it gets really interesting here, doesn't it? Plaintiff disputes each of the defendant's contentions. Plaintiff alleges he timely identified his expert, provided most information required to be disclosed in an expert report in a timely manner, and the expert report satisfies the requirements of. And Mr. Baggett is qualified as an expert in handwriting comparison analysis. In reply, defendant argued that plaintiff has not sufficiently rebutted any of the arguments presented in their joint motion. Defendant contends that plaintiff has not addressed the deficiencies in an original expert report, which they have consistently challenged. Defendant also cites, this is interesting, numerous court decisions that have analyzed Mr. Baggett's qualifications and concluded he is not qualified to offer expert opinions.
Oh my goodness. Numerous court decisions, you guys. Numerous. Please pay attention. Numerous court cases. That means several judges have said this jackass is not qualified.
Yeah, he's not qualified. And there's a lot of that. On June 3rd, 2015, the court granted plaintiff's request to set a hearing on defendant's motion to exclude. The hearing was set for June 25th, 2015. Plaintiff opposing counsel who traveled to Cincinnati from out of town were presented with a hearing. Mr. Baggett did not attend the hearing. Plaintiff represented to the court that he had received an email from Mr. Baggett's office 3:17 p.m. June 24th, 2015, the day before the hearing, informing plaintiff that Mr. Baggett was ill. He couldn't travel to court to Cincinnati from Texas for the hearing. So he tells him right before the day that this is scheduled. He's like, hey, by the way, I'm not going to be there. Right before. I mean, we're talking about 3:17 p.m. the day before. By the way, can't be there. The plaintiff did not forward the email from Mr. Baggett's office to the undersigned chambers until 5:43 p.m. on June 24th, which was after the close of business, because plaintiff had failed to provide timely notice of Mr. Baggett's inability to attend the hearing. The court convened the hearing and gave plaintiff an option. He could proceed with the hearing without Mr. Baggett present, or the court would reschedule. So the plaintiff chose to proceed with the hearing in Mr. Baggett's absence. So that's not good, by the way. Yeah, that's not good when you're like, wait a minute. I think I'm just going to go without them. It's like, I don't trust my expert to show up. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. Maybe there's an explanation that differs, but I'll leave it to them. The court has considered the argument presented by the plaintiff defendant's counsel at the hearing and has reached its decision in the motion. Timeliness of plaintiff's expert report. The parties' positions. Defendants allege that the plaintiff did not timely submit an expert report. Again, you get federal guidelines. Defendant acknowledged that plaintiff identified Curtis Baggett as handwriting expert September 10th, 2014, prior to the September 26, 2014 deadline for disclosure of expert witnesses. So they actually identify within time. However, defendants allege that the expert report did not comply with Rule 26A2B, which provides that an expert report must include the following information: a complete statement of all opinions the witness will express and the basis and reason for them, the facts or data considered by the witness, informing them, any exhibits that it will be using. 1 second, I got a kid right here. I'm going to mute for 1 second, okay? See what they do.
All right, Tug's got a Raider, and this guy is unbelievable. Can you believe this? Look at the qualifications. There are none. There are zero. And this is the guy that a bunch of these, that channel that is just geared towards taking down Jeremy Hale's, like, destroying his career, which is a total violation of YouTube's terms of service, by the way, to go after one YouTube creator constantly all the time and make your whole channel about that. These people orchestrated this guy who has such a horrific history. This should tell you something. It should tell, if you had any questions at all on who is telling the truth and who is, out to destroy people's lives, it should show you.
It's fascinating. Like I said, I when I was pulling up some of this stuff, all I did was a Google search on the name. I didn't, like Megan noted, didn't get into pacer search. Didn't have to go that far. So these are all the things, again, that an expert report should include. Any exhibits that will be used to summarize or support them, witnesses' qualification, including a list of all publications authored in the previous 10 years, a list of all other cases in which, during the previous 4 years, the witness testified as an expert at trial or deposition, and a statement of compensation to be paid for the study and testimony in the case. Now, defendants contend that the report did not include the facts or data considered by Mr. Baggett informing his opinion. So wait a minute. He didn't include any of the items that he was actually looking at? That's not good. Just giving an opinion based on whatever.
Good. That's not good.
No. A list of all other cases in which he testified as an expert at trial or by deposition. and a statement of compensation to be paid for his study and testimony in the case. Defendants argue that because plaintiff failed to timely produce an expert report that complied with Rule 26A2B, Mr. Baggett cannot testify as an expert in the matter, and the plaintiff is precluded from using Mr. Baggett's report pursuant to.
Oh boy.
Defendants acknowledge that the plaintiff eventually filed a revised expert report March 16, 2015. However, they argued that the disclosure was untimely. Defendants note that the plaintiff filed a revised report almost 6 months after the September 26, 2014 deadline for the disclosure of expert witness without filing a motion to modify the scheduled order. Defendants argue that the plaintiff was not diligent and he does not have good cause for the delay in filing an expert report. So again, they go through there. I'm just skipping this stuff. So in response, of course, they're like, he timely filed that. You know, he filed the expert or the forensic report. He filed his report with initial disclosures. He filed the forensic report. The plaintiff alleged that the defendant has been aware since 2014 of expert's identity, the opinions he would give, Plaintiff alleges that he was not aware the defendant had any objections. So they go through, you know, all of their answers for that. Okay. In their reply brief, the defendants allege that plaintiff had noticed that his expert report was deficient well before March 2015. Defendant further alleged that in the supplemental report, which plaintiff submitted 6 months after expert disclosure deadline, he fails to cure the defects in the original report. Oh,
so he's not so good at writing reports, which is strange for a handwriting expert.
Yeah, he didn't fix the problems, though. So he actually turns in something. Now, the governing standards. I don't know if I want to read all the standards here. You know, they tell you, you know, again, about compensation, how that works. You know, again, they're supposed to disclose all these items. The expert report should not be excluded on timeliness grounds. So they found that, again, they'll give you the whole thing. So even assuming plaintiff failed to, oops, got to pop up here, timely disclose his expert report prior to the deadline, exclusion would not be warranted. So they're not going to hit it for that. They're telling you know, timely wise, no. But they tell you, they talk about, again, compliance. And they start getting into, okay, well, if we're not going to get into timeliness, let's talk about it. Other items. Defendants argue that even if the court concludes that plaintiff's expert report was timely submitted, the report should nonetheless be excluded from evidence because it fails to comply with Rule 26A2. Defendants argue that this scant one-page report, an expert report, one-page report.
Well, what it said was, it's 100% what I think.
I mean, what now? Provides only a bottom line and fails to identify the reasons for the expert opinion or any basis for his conclusions. You know, expert reports must include how and why the expert reached a particular result, not merely the expert's conclusionary opinions. Here, the expert report produced by plaintiff consists of more than one page and offers more than a simple conclusion that plaintiff's signature was forged on the documents in question. In the report, Mr. Baggett has provided samples of signatures he compared, and he lists differences between signatures. Thus, it shouldn't be dismissed, they say. Okay. All right. So you see the argument there. Now, D, Mr. Baggett's testimony and expert report should be excluded under 702 and. So let's see what that means. The expert report should nonetheless be excluded for failure to satisfy the requirements of a witness who is qualified as an expert by knowledge, skill, experience, training, and education must testify in the form of opinion or otherwise if The expert's scientific, technical, or other specialized knowledge will help the trier of fact to understand the evidence, or determine a fact in the issue. The testimony is based on sufficient facts or data. The testimony is the product of reliable principles and methods. The expert has reliably applied the principles and methods to the facts of the case.
What methods? What principles should be?
Yeah, that's pretty much what they're going to say in this. The defendants allege that Mr. Baggett is not qualified as an expert under that Federal Rules of Evidence 702. They acknowledge that the handwriting analysis may be considered a field of expertise under Rule 702, but they note the admissibility of expert testimony in a given case depends on the expert's witness training, job duties, years of practical experience, detailed nature of the proposed testimony. And here again, district court did not abuse its discretion by admitting handwriting expert testimony, giving its training experience, etc., etc. They also allege that numerous federal courts have determined that Mr. Baggett does not have sufficient experience to serve as a handwriting expert. Numerous federal courts.
Oh my Lord. Like, where did they find this guy? Although I will tell you, he's got some seriously good SEO, because if you Google handwriting experts, like him and his son come up a lot. They are paying a whole lot for their Google results. I'm telling you what.
Oh yeah. So defendants contend that assuming Mr. Baggett's experience is adequate to qualify him as an expert, his method is not reliable because 1, he's not identified any tools, principles, or techniques he used, and 2, he has not articulated how he applied methodology to the facts in the case. That's interesting. Now, they argue that, of course, he did that 100 cases, 8 years. They say, in the few cases where he was excluded, testimony or supplemental affidavits with a further detailed, his qualifications were not proffered. So if there would have been more, when they go through here, this is what he has. This, look at all this. And the courts are like, yeah. So the court reviews all of this. And this is what the court has to say. Mr. Baggett's qualifications. The court finds that Mr. Baggett is not qualified by skill, experience, training, or education.
Oh, Lord, that's a lot of things.
Yeah. They're basically like, dude, you don't have any qualification as a handwriting expert to offer an opinion concerning the authenticity of plaintiff's signature on the 2004 loan documents at issue in this case. Listen to this.
Lord.
Oh, this gets good. This gets crazy. Like, I thought about it first when I read this to skip here, but I was like, no, I really kind of want to introduce the case a little bit, so people could see some of the arguments.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat, Ammo's girl, just said he was found on Wish.
Timu, baby. Yeah.
Fiverr. He's a handwriting and analysis guy from Fiverr.
5,000 pennies. You're like, oh, whoa, that's a deal. $5,000, nothing. 5,000 cents, baby. Initially, the information provided in Mr. Baggett's expert report raises questions about the depths of Mr. Baggett's experience and whether the expert report accurately reflects Mr. Baggett's credentials. He lists nearly 100 cases or in cities in which he has been qualified or appointed or accepted by a state or by the court as an expert and or testified in trial or by deposition from 2009 to 2014. However, the court is unable to corroborate Mr. Baggett's representation and to evaluate the nature of his experience based on the information he's provided. So wait a minute, they weren't able to do that. I wonder why, Megan.
Oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Oh it gets amazing. For several of the matters listed, Mr. Baggett has omitted relevant information such as the court or the case number. So when he's like, hey, I testified in a case, he doesn't say which case that he actually testified in. Oh, wait, that's not good. Further, the record in at least some of the federal case listed by Mr. Baggett does not reflect that the court assessed his expert credentials and qualified him as an expert. For example, here's one court case. Denied the defendant's motion to exclude Mr. Baggett's expert handwritten testimony without prejudice to renewal if Mr. Baggett did not file a revised expert report that fully complied with Rule 26A2, and 2, the plaintiff did not make Mr. Baggett available for deposition. So that's not good, as one of those you note. Then the case was settled several months later and was dismissed. The docket sheet does not reflect that the court conducted a hearing, otherwise assessed his credentials. In another case here, there is no identification in the record that the court considered Mr. Baggett's qualification before granting the defendant unopposed motion for summary judgment and entering judgment in the defendant's favor. So they didn't even look at his qualification. The court also has serious concerns regarding the accuracy of Mr. Baggett's representations in the background information he has provided as to the number of cases he has completed and in his years of experience. In the background information submitted on September the 10th, 2014, as part of Exhibit 11, Mr. Baggett represented that he has, quote unquote, completed over 3,500 cases and is, quote, analyzed handwriting for over 30 years. In his background information submitted just 6 months later, March 16th, 2015, he represented that he had completed over 5,000 cases and he analyzed handwriting for over 40 years.
Oh, my Lord.
So he jumps from 3,500 to 5,000.
5,000.
30 years to 40 years.
Hey, didn't Dr. Medchill have the same problem?
Yes. Remember we were talking about how often he'd have to deliver babies if he actually went with the numbers provided?
That's right. He would have had to have done nothing but deliver babies for 40 years to get to that number. Didn't he say 50,000 babies or something?
Something crazy. We were like, what is he working on?
Crazy.
Yeah, it was like, what is that, a baby conveyor or something? I mean, what's he doing there?
That makes no freaking sense.
What was bad with that, though, is despite this insanity, they still allowed that guy to be an expert witness. So, so that makes you go, like, wait a minute. What's it take to exclude someone? Well, it takes this. That expert report also lists just under 100 cases from 2009 to 2014 time period in which Mr. Baggett qualified as an expert or gave deposition or trial testimony. This number is nearly double the figure from less than 2 years earlier, when another court from the Sixth Circuit noticed that Mr. Baggett claimed that he had, quote, qualified and or appointed as an expert and had testified and offered deposition testimony in over 50 cases between 2005 to 2012. So he's saying, now I've got 100 cases, and you look at the date switch too. So he actually extends for 2 years, but he removes 4 years off the front, and the number doubles. It went from 50 cases from 2005 to 2012 to under 100 from 2009 to 2014.
That's crazy.
They're like, wait a minute. Is he just making these numbers up? That's what they're asking. They're like, this is crazy.
This is crazy. Maybe he is making them up. Do you think?
Well, they call him out. I mean, listen, this is a court. Courts call you out. It depends on the judge. You know, some judges will blast you, but more often than not, they put in, maybe this is wrong. So the wide discrepancy in these numbers, coupled with identifications that Mr. Baggett may have exaggerated the depth of his experience.
May have, you think? Holy crap.
Raise serious concerns as to whether Mr. Baggett's expert report accurately reflects his qualifications. Whoops.
Whoops.
In addition to concerns.
This is so bad. Listen, this is one of the worst disqualification motions I've ever read.
Yes.
I read this once before, but the second time through, it's worse. And, you know, we're just waiting around for him to enter this into court because this would be hilarious in front of a judge. But they never had any intention. Deuce never had any intention of entering this guy into court.
That's why, you know, I'll just say this out loud now. That's why I kept saying, put it in court or it doesn't matter. But then I noticed they keep returning to it over and over again. They keep saying that, you know, this is pretty much the end all be all. Therefore, they're convicting Jeremy Hales in the court of public opinion.
Oh, this is the royal flush. This is the royal flush, Tug. This is the thing that was going to take not only him down, but everybody around him down. I'm sorry, suckers, but you don't understand what basic research is about. You didn't Google this guy, and you think you're the ones with all the evidence. And you go, it's unbelievable to me. And the elder statesman ought to be really embarrassed. They're saying a guy who prides himself on truthfulness, so he says, and on facts and accuracy, not knowing that this guy has been thrown out of several. I bet you could search for months and not find one expert who's been thrown out of this many cases. I think it's difficult to find.
I've seen disqualifications here and there, but like you said, they usually don't sound like this. They're usually, they're pretty short and kind of detailed, and you don't find them over and over again.
Oh, there's so many of these, but this one was the best because it had everything. It had all his prior cases in it as well. So it kind of covered all of them. So you don't have to read all of them. You can just read this one because it goes over all the other cases that he got thrown out of. Yeah, this is the royal flush, more like royal turd.
Yeah,
it's the royal turd that is getting flushed tonight. This is crazy. Now the next thing that needs to happen is Bruce needs to distance himself from this shit. Let's see what'll happen. Is he going to say, I didn't hire him. I didn't know anything about this.
There have been allegations again, people write and they note things. And there have been many people that have alleged that he may actually be trying to distance himself from some of the, really some of the things that are like we've talked about, having a lawyer go on with some of the stuff that's been happening. Oh man, yeah. And apparently that hasn't been happening as much. I'm not sure. I don't watch. So
yeah, I don't watch.
Just said allegations.
I don't know how much he's been on recently or not because I'm not listening to it. In fact, people keep sending me stuff about apparently, and I didn't see it, so I don't know. But I've been getting a bunch of notifications. People are telling me, "Oh, they made a Dr. Seuss rhyme right after you did. They're copying. I'm like, that's hilarious to me. Copying is the highest form of flattery. I'm flattered that you liked my AI Dr. Seuss poem, and I'm sure yours wasn't as funny, but it's never as funny the second time around. That's okay.
They're going to be doing their hair like you soon. It's going to be something else.
Well, they already made a cartoon like mine too. Did you notice that? Did you notice that they're making avatars like this one?
Yep.
Yeah, they're making avatar like their little but that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Copying is the highest form of flattery.
What do they call that? Trendsetter, baby. Trendsetter.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Stay tuned. You'll have to tune into my show to get your next great idea.
When they start playing The Sims, then you really know it's bad.
They're gonna totally do that. You might, although I think they're a little older than me, and I can barely play it. So chances are they won't be able to figure out how to download it. And that's no shade on boomers or anything. It's just that I'm Gen X. I'm the last of the generations that could actually play video games because I grew up on Nintendo, baby. I totally get it that the boomers out there, they don't have those kind of skills. Even though it's difficult for me, I still have a couple of skills.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an influencer. That's right, Melanie. I'm a YouTube influencer now. Oh God, kill me now.
Oh my God, you really are an influencer.
Oh, that's disgusting. That's the one thing I never wanted to be. God dang it.
Bruce.
Bruce.
Poor Brucey.
I can't believe I was a real friend.
Man, by the way, John, I've noticed gifted memberships popping up over there. I do want to give a shout out. Thank you, brother. You know, I wanted to note that. I've noticed gifted memberships hitting here and there, and every time I look down, there's John and gifted memberships. So I want to get, like, I noticed Suzanne pop in there, and I noticed Lou, and I mean, it's crazy. Thank you all again. I appreciate it. Like when we're going over stuff, you know, last night, I thought that was amazing. Like we cover anything. Like we keep telling these crazy people, we can go to other stuff and we can cover other things. It'll be interesting to see them try it because I don't think that works out for most of them. They should build that way though. Otherwise, yeah, this kind of stuff wrecks your credibility. But
I'll be right back.
Okay. In addition to concerns as to whether Mr. Baggett, that was an accident, by the way, that wasn't intentional, Mr. Baggett has accurately represented his credentials. The court notes that the plaintiff has not directed this court to any other federal court decisions that have found Mr. Baggett to be qualified as an expert after performing analysis and or considering his qualification under Rule 702. So they're like, you know, when thinking about that, they didn't actually direct him to anything where he had been qualified as an expert. I mean, think about that. If I went in and I argued and said that my expert was qualified, I'd be like, look at this example, that example, and so on. They're like, no, they didn't do that. You know? On the other hand, the defendants here have cited several federal cases in which the court analyzed Mr. Baggett's qualifications and held that he was not qualified to testify as a handwriting expert or that his testimony should be excluded as unreliable. Yes, I'll read that to you again. Several federal cases, where the court looked at his qualifications and said, nay, nay, nay. No way. Nay.
The court looked at his qualifications and they were like, to the left, everything you own in the box to the left, out. Good Lord. How bad is this?
This is sad. I mean, and you know what? It's that's why, like I said, I wonder, actually, you know, we say some people, I wonder if some people did look up his qualifications or lack thereof and knew that because again, didn't end up in the courtroom. Why would you do that if you failed?
You know what I think might have happened? I think maybe the Butter twins got this guy and raised the money or whatever and paid this guy. And then I think maybe Bruce might have done the research afterwards and was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh my G. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, my kids used to tease me that my theme song, I can just hear it going through these federal judges' minds as they're reading through his baloney. But my kids used to tease me that my theme song is my name is No. My number is no.
No.
The answer is no. You need to let it go.
Wait, so are all these different ones where he's disqualified? Is this one because it stops at 2006, comma? Is this two?
No, I think these are
Or is this all the one?
citations of.
Yeah, where he was excluded, though, right?
Wait a minute.
See,
Wait a minute. What does that say? Defendants
yeah.
have
So
cited
isn't it?
several federal cases.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh
is
yeah.
every
It
is
might be
is
okay.
every break here one? I mean, is this all
Everything.
one?
No.
So that's one.
Draz v. American General Life is 1.
Yeah, and then this is 2, right? Or
That,
is
no,
this
that's
2?
still the citation.
Okay, so
The
every
second
time
one
it
is
breaks
Routh
here.
v.
Okay, so
Bank.
this 1, 2, I see the breaks now. I got it.
Wheeler v. Olympia, that's 3.
Yeah,
And
so
there's 3 besides
so
this one, so that's 4. that's a lot. That's a lot.
so it even refers to. Okay, so this case, I really need to look this one up because the court says the finding in this one is particularly instructive.
There's also a footnote 19. It might tell you what's particularly instructive about that.
I'm going to mark this and see. Let's see. It's a footnote.
Footnote. It says footnote 19.
Wait.
What happened in 19?
Yeah. There. Wait, where's footnote 19?
That's weird. Where are the footnotes? I haven't seen one yet.
Are they at the bottom?
Maybe.
Or did they leave them out? I'm not sure. Let's see.
That would be disappointing. I want to see what's especially instructive.
Now I want to look at that court case,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Where did I leave it?
Oh, no. Well, we know it was at 19.
There it is. I got it.
And what was it called?
I was just like,
Wheeler v. Olympia Sports Center?
No, it's the Revel. Yeah, it's Revel. REVELS. His numbers.
The court's in-depth in Revels. Okay. So Revels. Huh. That's a strange citation. Is it Revels? It's not versus anybody. It's just Revels. How does that
see the way it's maybe they just gave it a shorthand. I have no idea.
I'll look it up.
Okay, yeah.
While you're reading,
see if you can find that because I want to know if they. No, here it is. Actually, what am I talking about? They have enough on here. This is enough
right
on
there.
Okay. Yeah, but I'd like to see that. I'd like to see the whole case. I mean, it's going to have this, but I'd like to see the whole case, like a real breakdown. And that's what I was saying. But it gives some breakdown here. So the district court in Revels conducted a 2-day. So they have their 2-day hearing on it, following which it excluded his testimony, finding he did not qualify to testify as an opinion witness in the areas of document examination and handwriting analysis. The court summarized the following credentials as set forth again by him, which are included for the most part. So these are the same thing, which again, he for the most part included in this case too. So they're saying, oh, he pretty much copied that. Okay.
Hold on, Tug. Hold on. I just found it. And you're going to love this.
Oh my God.
The full title is United States of America versus Mary Revels, a.k.a. Crazy Mary. I shit you not.
That's the Crazy Mary case they were referring to in the other documents.
Shit you not. Crazy.
So there's
that's in an actual title of an actual case.
Yeah. That actually here it is in the I've got that then. I've got that. I didn't.
Mary? What's Crazy Mary?
I've got it. I've actually got that one. Here it is.
Hold up. It says at the hearing, defendant attempted to tender Mr. Curtis Leo Baggett as an opinion witness in the areas of document examination and handwriting. Although it was not specified, the court anticipated that the witness would be offered as an expert in the subspecialty of examination of electronic signatures or digital signatures created by computer technology. But he had no he had no expertise in that. And this was the woman who claimed that other people were buying pseudoephedrine with her signature, electronic signature, buying pills at different pharmacies.
This is that one. I'm not leaving the other one, by the way, just to say I'm marking that one. I'm leaving it where it is. But here is Revels. Give me 1 second. This is it. US v. Revels. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had the Crazy Mary thing marked, but I couldn't remember Yeah, so this is all of this is a crazy case, actually, because it goes through qualifications and it talks about the fascinating thing about this is when you look through it again, there's a lot of discussion about him. Yeah, I mean, we're talking
A
acceptable and
ton.
all. Oh my God. Like this one
There's a
too.
ton.
We'll see what we get.
And in this one, he really left her hanging because here she had hired this witness, this expert witness, then come to find out in the middle of voir dire that he was completely unqualified. So he took this person's money and he was completely unqualified to be this expert witness. And she had to go get another expert. And I think she did. I think she went forward and got another one. Can you imagine being in that position?
It's such a mess. It's so crazy. Like here's the discussion of what they said. Because Revels was a criminal sentencing hearing. The court was not bound by 702. And Dahmer, the court primary focus was instead on his opinion testimony could satisfy a minimum indica of liability. So he couldn't even, according to them, satisfy minimum reliability standards. The court nonetheless looked at
the
702.
The qualifications that they found in this case they're scary. They're scary. So he has a BA and he performed some postgraduate work in Houston. He claims that he received education and training in the U.S. Army Military Police Officer School.
Yeah, this is right here. This is where the talk. Okay, so there's the education. There's the military school, participated in 2-year apprenticeship.
With Ray Walker. Okay.
Taught at School of Forensic Documentation and Handwriting.
Which is run by his son.
Yeah.
This is the school that Bart runs on YouTube or whatever. Like I've watched several episodes that they're weird. They're weird for sure.
He further testified he's a member of the American College of Forensic Examiners, National Question Document Association, World Federation of Handwriting Experts. Finally, claimed to have been qualified and or appointed as an expert and testified, and that's in over 50 cases. That's the one they referred to before. So the court found that on the surface, Mr. Baggett's credentials are noteworthy, but the look below the surface, quote unquote, unearthed a rather different picture.
Oh boy.
The court found that the government in the case had, quote unquote, whittled away Mr. Baggett's qualifications, beginning with his training and experience, and it exposed the following weaknesses and gaps in these areas. Mr. Baggett admitted that his undergrad and graduate studies were of no particular relevance to his training as a document examiner, and that he could not recall whether his military police officer's school training addressed forensic.
He couldn't recall? He can't recall if he learned forensic handwriting analysis? I'm sorry, sir. We don't believe you.
Yes, that pretty much says nope.
You sit on a throne of lies. Yeah, we do not believe you. No.
It says, although willing to accept his proffer of a statement made by the American Board of Forensic Document Examiners that, like most forensic disciplines, on-the-job specialized training from experienced examiners is the only way to acquire expertise. And that's true. You have to have on-the-job. So Mr. Baggett's on-the-job training for 2 years under Mr. Walker is questionable given concerns that were raised about Walker's qualifications and credibility. So the guy that he trained under, they're like, yeah, about him. In a case predating Albert, but occurring after Mr. Baggett was trained under Walker, the Fifth Circuit affirmed a district court decision not to qualify Walker as a handwriting expert. From this questionable training experience, Mr. Baggett proceeded to start a handwriting university with his son, and then both taught and later received continuing education at handwriting university. So they start their own school And then they do continued education at said school. That's not good.
No.
The only professional organization in the field of document examination that offers certification is the ABFDE. Neither Mr. Baggett nor his mentor, Ray Walker, is a member. Although Mr. Baggett testifies that he is a member of 3 other professional organizations, his membership
Are they real estate organizations? What type? What are they? I need to know.
I'm a member in 67 of them. There's one that it's called the Meganopolis School of
AARP.
Oh my God. I don't
what
recall
organizations are there out there. Oh, the Rotary Club.
The
Rotary Club.
Yeah.
Wait, I know. He's a member at a golf club. That's the organization. He plays golf every Tuesday.
If you'd like to be a member, if you'd like to be a handwriting expert, yes, Pickle University, at which I am.
Yes, he went to Pickle University. Pickle U, the Lions Club. Legal Vices chimes in with the Lions Club. Yes, also very respectable. He could be Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Mason. Could be a Mason, maybe. Well, we know for sure he's not a handwriting expert. But there are a lot of other organizations he could. Elks Club. Yes, Linz. The Elks Club.
Well, they tell them, they're like,
oh,
his membership in these groups reveals very little about his training or credentials. Given that the organizations do not have a certification process or require proficiency testing. Instead, to become a member, one only need to complete an application, pay a fee, and in the case of one organization, complete an ethics exam.
God.
So,
what was the name of that organization Fred Flintstone believed? The Order of the Water Buffaloes. Denise, Denise Jinx, you and I were thinking the same thing at the same time. That chat just popped up as I was going, what was that Flintstone thing?
Oh my God. He has the qualifications the Flintstones do. That's not good. Finally.
Sabrina, I don't think he's a member of the Mile High Club. If you've seen a picture, you know what I'm talking about.
This is crazy, though. I mean, this is wild when multiple courts have picked apart, and the government themselves, like the government picked it apart, and they were like, yeah, about that. And that's what they were telling you in the Rebels case. They're like, the government took it apart.
This is the easiest disqualification in the history of mankind. I really wanted him to submit it.
I did too. I really wanted it, but when they told us they weren't, like I said, I got tired of them throwing this around and having people actually believe it. That's the problem. Like, people need to look at this, look people up and see about them. Maybe do a little due diligence. And I'm talking about people that are out there listening to this stuff, because expert witness means fuck all anyway, even if they are qualified. You look at what they do, you look at exactly how they come up with it, and see if it makes sense to you. When you look at it, you're like, yeah, I can see that. Like when we looked at the handwriting expert for Jeremy, they walked everything through. You could look at their method and you could decide whether or not you found that credible.
One of the very first parts of that report was about the method used, what it is, how it's applied, what it means, all the definitions. It goes over all of that. In Baggett's report, there is no method. There's no methodology. It's not spelled out, and it's certainly not accepted as forensic handwriting analysis.
That's a method. It's called Trust Me, Bro. What's up?
What he does is like a party trick, and it's a fun party trick. Admittedly, it's as fun as going to get your palm read. Some people believe it. Some people find it entertaining. It's sometimes it's often right, you know, because you got a 50-50 chance, you know, of getting it right. Does it really
Well, you know, when you're
actually
talking
mean
about
anything? I don't know.
when you're like, hey, I'm looking at this person's writing and I believe that this person had trauma when they were a child. What?
I
Come
know.
on.
Like, no, not just trauma as a child, which I almost would accept more than when they were 12, they had a traumatic experience. Like, sir, this is a Wendy's. You get out of here with this shit. How do you know it was when this person was 12? That's crazy.
Then they go on to tell us that of particular concern to the court is, in fact, that several other courts have determined that he's not qualified to testify. For example, they give a district court here determined that Mr. Baggett was not qualified to testify as an opinion witness. Among other things, the court concluded Mr. Baggett's qualifications were, quote unquote, clearly paltry in comparison to other document examiners whose testimony has been admitted in the same district and circuit. So they're like, hey, compared to other ones that we've seen, this ain't gonna fly. That's amazing. The court observed that Mr. Baggett at the time was not certified by the ABFD or a member of any of the 20 nationally recognized document examiner trade organizations, had not subjected himself to any sort of proficiency tests or regular peer review, had never authorized an authoritative text in the field. This was like this. Remember when we were reading that breakdown? This is what they were saying. So if you were like, there's no proof of what was there, here you go. Okay. Had never received training in notable government training programs, had never taught a recognized program for the field. Instead, the court observed, quote, at most, the evidence shows that Mr. Baggett received the vast majority of his training in this field, not from a recognized or accredited program, but from Dr. Ray Walker, whose own qualifications as a document examiner are suspect, that he had worked as a document examiner based on his training for 22 years, and that he had 1 or 2 year stint examining checks for forgeries as a consultant in Dallas, Texas, Justice of the Peace Court and Dallas County District Attorney's Office. And it continues. It gets even worse.
Good Lord.
The Revels Court examined another case where the state court had made detailed findings and determinations Mr. Baggett was not qualified to offer testimony as a forensic document examiner based on his lack of formal training, a failure to show that the apprenticeship with Ray Walker had entailed any meaningful instruction, the fact that he had never been certified as a forensic document examiner, and the fact that he lacked any meaningful education and training in the field. The court concluded the following. Since Blake, Mr. Baggett has taken steps to improve upon his credentials. In particular, Mr. Baggett is a member of 3 professional associations and claims his work in this case was peer-reviewed by Miss Wendy Carlson. The court also does not discount the fact that Mr. Baggett has been allowed to testify personally or through deposition at other trials in both state or federal court. However, viewing his record as a whole, this court can find no meaningful distinction between his qualifications in 2006 and today that would convince this court to veer from the conclusions drawn in, is that Drake's, maybe, and Blake, and Blake, rather, that Mr. Baggett is not qualified to testify, even under a minimum, again, indica reliability standard. This court concludes the issues raised. Yeah, they don't work out. Again, it's saying the same thing with that. Accordingly, will not be allowed to testify at the defendant's sentencing as an expert. The court shares these serious concerns that were just noted regarding Mr. Baggett's qualifications, which led the court to exclude Mr. Baggett's testimony. Mr. Baggett represented that he has received, quote unquote, education and training in document examination and psychology. However, he conceded in Revels that his post-secondary education is of, quote unquote, no particular relevance to document examination training. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Legal Vice says,
God.
the court notes that the expert is now trying to make himself at least minimally competent to qualify as an expert, but he did do nothing.
It's amazing. I mean, this stuff is wild. Legal Vices, by the way. Props to you, buddy. Mr. Baggett states that he formerly served as the dean of the School of Forensic Documentation Examination Handwriting University, which the court in Revels noted is a school started by his son. So they call that out too. However, it is not known whether the school has undergone any type of accreditation process. Mr. Baggett asserts he underwent the 2-year apprenticeship. Dr. Ray Walker. Dr. Walker's qualifications have been affirmed in an unnamed case by a Texas court, and that Dr. Walker had historical rulings in his favor. This information is of little assistance to the court, given that Mr. Baggett did not identify the ruling. He generally references have favored Dr. Walker. So when he listed, just to note that in case people don't understand it, he said, well, Dr. Walker, yeah, he has these great qualifications. He's been infirmed in this one case, not going to note it. And the court's like, he didn't note, like he didn't identify the rulings. He generally referenced that it favored Dr. Walker. There's no indication in the record that Dr. Walker is a member of the ABFDE or that he has been certified by a similar organization. And at least one court found Dr. Walker's credentials to be suspect.
But is he a member of the Elks Club? Because that might be relevant. Maybe they're part of that same organization, the other organizations that are unnamed.
Oh my God. So they're saying, well, he submitted in this case that he lists numerous lectures, classes, conferences, which Mr. Baggett has participated as an instructor, attendee between 2004 to 2013, rather. However, the vast majority of these sessions were presented by, again, Handwriting University. I'm just going to say the school started by his son. Given Mr. Baggett's close connection to the school, close connection to the, I like it though. Given his close connection to the school, yeah, and lack of information about school credentials, Mr. Baggett's participation in sessions presented by the school sheds little light on his qualifications. Mr. Baggett's certification and past and present memberships likewise do little to convince the court that Mr. Baggett is qualified by experience to offer an opinion as a handwriting expert. Oh my God. He indicated that he has a certificate at the American Bureau of Document Examiners and a certificate of completion from the American Institute of Applied Science, but there's no information provided about these entries and no indication that Mr. Baggett is certified by the ABFDE. Moreover, although he lists 5 published articles and books he's authored, he does not denote which of the publications is a book, which are articles. So he notes 5 publications and he's like, they're articles and books, but he doesn't manage to tell them what are articles and what are books. He doesn't identify a publisher, doesn't identify a date of publication. He doesn't state whether the publications were peer reviewed. Now, for these reasons, the court agrees with the courts that have found he does not qualify to testify as a handwriting expert, knowledge, skill, expertise, training, and education. The requirement that an opinion witness specializes in anyway. So this qualification, I don't want to miss out on the other stuff like methodology. You know,
oh God. Well,
that was just. This is just qualification. Like everything we just read there, that's just about destroying qualification. We haven't even gotten to methodology yet.
God.
This is amazing.
And by the way, instead of reacting to their expert being completely debunked, the Butter Twins on their stream that I guess is happening tonight, on the thumbnail, it says journalist in quotation marks turns to columnist in quotation marks. So I guess they found some old bio of mine somewhere that says I'm a columnist for PJ Media. I'm assuming this is about me. And it's speaking of not knowing the difference between, what was it? Books and articles.
Articles.
they don't seem to know the difference, but they don't know what the similarities or differences are between journalists and columnists. They are a little bit different, and I am both. Just to clarify, before the lies begin later tonight about all the things that I am or am not according to them, if you want to see my journalism work, I would highly recommend that you go see my 29 or 28 part series about Missouri family court corruption, which took me 15 months. I actually had to travel to St. Louis. I had 31 judges recuse themselves because of my reporting. The Chief Justice had to step down. I just go read it. If you want to know if I've done journalism, you just go read that. It's out there, Missouri court corruption, full catalog. And then a columnist is someone who writes editorials, right? Which I also have done. I have written all different types of news. I've actually done straight news reporting, investigative journalism, and editorial columns. So I've done all three of the types of journalism that you can do. And so anyone who doesn't understand, this is like, but these are people who don't know what a gauntlet is. They think a gauntlet is a guillotine.
It's a beheading device.
So of course they would think that there's a big difference between journalism and columnist, and there's that somehow that makes me less than because I wrote columns, or I don't know. I don't know. But I don't have to defend my qualifications. They're out there. I have a record. It's literally
columnists still are expected to gather accurate information. So the two,
but it's more opinion.
Yeah. You're allowed to give commentary. I would argue in today's journalism that's pretty much what all journalists are. We see very few quote unquote journalists anymore. They're more columnists. They apply the label,
Well, they forgot one other thing. They forgot another title that I have. They forgot author. Because, it is possible to do more than one thing. Thank you, Legal Vices, for remembering that. That is true. Rush used to read my articles quite a bit. Sometimes, I think the most he ever read in one day was 3, which is where I got my soundbite from him going, Megan Fox, what does she do? What does she do? Nothing but write all day? And by the way, I haven't been able to write very much lately because a couple months ago, I got a compressed nerve. Actually, it's over a year ago in my neck, and typing really makes it bad. So that's when I turned to doing more YouTube and more talking, because the talking I can move around a lot more. And now I'm a gaming streamer. So I have so many talents. It's incredible.
Wait. So columnist versus journalist would matter, but what we're reading here, this would be the kind of person you back.
Handwriting expert versus fraud doesn't.
Oh my God.
It's really interesting that they have such a problem with easily defined words. Authors write books, journalists do investigative work, columnists write opinion columns, and news reporters do straight news. Does that straighten it out for everybody? I've done all of that. All of it.
Oh my God, listen to this. This gets even better too. Okay, this is the things that they do hype up. He goes on to say, even if they found that he was qualified as an expert, his testimony should be excluded on the grounds that his methodology is not reliable. In order for an expert's testimony to be admitted, the proffered expert must be qualified to render a reliable opinion based on sufficient facts or data and the application of accepted methodologies. Well, that's painful. Factors a court may consider: whether the technique can be and has been tested, whether it's been subjected to peer review and publication, the known or potential rate of error, the existence and maintenance of standards controlling the technique's operation, general acceptance within relevant scientific communities. Now, these specific factors do not necessarily apply to all experts or in every case. Now, they note in some cases, the factors may be pertinent, while in other cases, of course, the relevant reliability concerns may focus upon personal knowledge or experience. Now, whether Dahlberg's specific factors are or not reasonable measures of reliability in a particular case is a matter that the law grants the trial judge broad latitude to just to note. Again, the judge gets to look at that and be like, look at this stuff. So, plaintiff has not directed the court to any case in which the reviewing court found Mr. Baggett's methodology to be reliable. Conversely, defendants have cited a number of cases in which Mr. Baggett's methodology was deemed not reliable, and he was excluded as an expert. So again, they noted cases here. Mr. Baggett's affidavit here was not admissible as evidence that documents were forged under Rule 702 because he did not explain any reliable principles or methods on which his opinion was based. That's this one. This one here, affidavit of Mr. Baggett stating he compared documents with known signatures to documents with question signatures and determined the question signatures were forged were inadmissible under 702. There was no indication that Mr. Baggett, quote unquote, applied any specialized knowledge or skill to the task he was asked to perform. The same outcome is warranted here.
I love that sentence.
That is
no indication that Mr. Baggett applied any specialized knowledge or skills to the task he was asked to perform. Basically, he's like, I know how to do cursive, so I'm a handwriting expert.
Therefore,
me write good.
Oh, Lord. The second expert report proffered by the plaintiff in this case appears to provide more details than the report that were excluded from evidence in the above cases. Nonetheless, the methodology described by Mr. Baggett in the second evidence report is much too vague and lacks sufficient data of reliability.
Now that was the whole problem of the report that they have, saying Jeremy was the one who wrote the signs. That report is super vague. I was looking for the methodology. Of course, I haven't seen all they didn't release it as a PDF. You notice that they didn't release it as an actual PDF that we can look at. They just have some screenshots on a YouTube channel, and I have to pause the screen and read it, which I tried to do. I tried to read the report but they've left out pages, so I don't know if it's there somewhere, but it was extremely vague. We didn't see any examples of this alleged handwriting they claim to have that's Jeremy's, that he never gave that. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not true. There was a picture of the handwriting they have of him. It is one envelope, like 4 words on an envelope, and one other thing, his signature. That is not anywhere near enough of a sample, unless they're hiding some other stuff. That's nowhere near of enough of a sample.
Well, remember, we just read the article that was where we had him, at least according to the article, saying that he was mistaken when he took handwriting samples and said, oh yeah, this is all this one person. And it turned out that it was penned by at least 3 nurses. So he was going over multiple people's signatures and saying, "Ha ha! Look at that! Hey, can you hold it for 1 minute? I got another."
Yeah, of course. Of course. I'll look at your chats. Your chats are so funny, you guys. Oh yeah, I forgot Legoist. Yes, Lego expert. I am a Lego expert too. I mean, I have a lot of things I can do. I also sing. I bet they didn't know that. I sing. I have a very lovely voice. What else can I do? What else can I do? I do miss the writing. I see one of you in the chat said you had a problem with your compressed disc or nerve or whatever and had surgery, and it's terrible. My husband had that surgery and I do not want it. So I am doing everything I can to stay out of pain, and that means a lot less typing. I have to, keep up with my stretching and movement, and typing is just terrible for it. So
yeah, that's no good, man. When you deal with nerves, that's that.
Oh, it's the worst pain. I mean, I now though I'm grateful for it in a way because I have a lot of empathy now for people in chronic pain that I never understood before, and you really never will unless you're in chronic pain.
Unless you deal with it. Yeah.
I'm a really cheerful person. I'm a very joyful person. I've never been truly depressed in my life, and I'm thankful for that. But after a solid, I think it was about 8 months of being in about a level 8 pain every day, all day long, I was seriously considering that death would be better. Like, not that I was seriously like planning it or anything, but I mean, the thought kept creeping into my head, this is no way to live. So I totally understand how people with chronic pain. And then I met a bunch of people with CRPS covering the Kowalski trial, and that was just heartbreaking. And so for all of you out there suffering in chronic pain, I feel you, and I'm so sorry.
It's difficult to, you know, I mean, I deal with like pain in my knee and my side, you know, like I said, I've had permanent disability with it, you know, and some days, woo, man, you know, it's not fun. It's not fun at all.
I'm like at a baseline 2 to 3 now, which is way better than an 8. I mean, for me, that's like 0, but I have days where I do something or I do too much exercise or not enough or something, and then I will go into like a flare up for at about an 8 to 9 for like, I don't know, 5 days, 6 days, but that's better than every day. So I don't have that sadness anymore because I know it's going to get better. I know I can get out of it. It's that feeling when you can't get out of it. You feel like this is never going to end, that, oh God, is it wearing?
Yeah, especially when you start to focus on it. You can't focus on something else. It's like, oh my God. You know.
If the pain is too intense, you can't. You literally cannot focus on anything else. Yep. The only way I could get out of it was to lay flat in my bed. And I have children. One of them is still small. I was like mom in bed for a year. It was terrible. Thank God I have a good husband who, you know, picked up all the slack and took care of me. But it sucks.
So check this out. This is how he comes to his stuff. So he's supposed to take and examine question signatures, compare them to known signatures. He describes his methodology as follows. Receive documents via the internet containing 6 known signatures and documents that contained questioned signatures. He printed them and compared known samples of initials and signatures to verify that they were offered by the same person.
He printed the Are these the
he printed on an HB printer.
These are the digital things that he was supposed to compare. Oh Lord, Dave Neal could compare those digital signatures better than this guy with Adobe Photoshop.
Hey, Dave Neal was a pretty damn good document. Like,
right?
To be honest, I was like, man, maybe he needs to go into some of this.
Go into document and analysis. Yeah. Dave Neal is freaking amazing at it.
He was, man. The overlays and stuff that he was doing.
He's so good at it. So good.
So then he notes the patterns of writing were verified under microscope and by using other scientific instruments such as metric measuring device, light table, handheld magnifying device. He then enlarged the question sample, compared them side by side to the known samples on a light table under a microscope. In addition to using the unaided eye, he employed side-by-side comparison. He goes through all of this. Again, he notes, he goes through this stuff and saying, this is what I did, looking at similarities here and there, looking at signatures, height, and so on. Now, the court comes in and says, well, Mr. Beckett has failed to demonstrate that he arrived at his conclusions, quote, in a scientifically sound and methodologically, there we go, reliable fashion for a number of reasons. First, he accepted plaintiff's representations as to which signatures were authentic. So right off the bat, he's saying these are authentic and these aren't. Why? Because his client said so. And they're like, whoops, maybe, that's a biasing effect. So, and which were purportedly authored by another individual. So, all right off the bat, his client said that this is real or this is fake. That's the way he approached it. You're not supposed to do that. He did not.
Confirmation bias is what that is.
Very much so. He does not allege that he took any steps to verify that the signatures plaintiff represented to be his own were actually authored by the plaintiff. So he didn't collect them, or he didn't find them himself and pull them up. They were just provided there. Second, Mr. Beckett states in his expert report that he requested original documents, which were not available, and he would like to examine originals, if possible, to verify his opinion. Thus, It is questionable whether Mr. Baggett had all the information he required to conduct a proper analysis. So even he states in there, well, I wish I had some original documentation, basically undermining his own findings. That's what they're saying there. Wow.
Oh, Lord Jesus. That's bad.
Third, it is evident from his report that the standards he employed are extremely discretionary, which undermines the reliability of his analysis. Mr. Baggett alleges that he compared the quote-unquote known samples of the signature's initials to determine quote-unquote the natural variation in the regular normal design of signatures and initials. Mr. Baggett states that the quote-unquote patterns of writing were verified under a microscope by using scientific instrument, However, Mr. Baggett does not explain how he used these various instruments to compare the samples. I used a magnifying, I used a microscope. How did you, well, what did you do with it? Well, you know. Nor does he identify the patterns he verified in the known signatures. So he doesn't go through and note this letter, this pattern to this pattern, and so on. Oh my God. He stated in his report, it's very bad. That is a general rule. The quote unquote identification of a signature and handwriting is based on an agreement without an explainable difference of the handwriting characteristics displayed. He states that the characteristics include form of letters, etc., etc. You know, although he notes these characteristics, he does not identify any such handwriting characteristics in the known signatures. So he notes these things that, you know, we're going to look at slope, we're going to look at size, but he doesn't showcase that in the signatures. He was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And that's amazing. He simply makes the broad assertion that, quote, the handwriting characteristics displayed in the known initials, which do not appear in the samples Mr. Baggett reviewed, and signatures are all very similar, because Mr. Baggett's report does not explain the similarities in the known signatures in any detail, does not describe the methodology he used to reach the conclusions concerning patterns in the signatures. His conclusion is not reliable in this respect. It notes, listen here, but because no initials appear in the known signatures, Mr. Baggett's reference to initials suggests this is boilerplate language. So since no initials are there, he's just basically using a form letter. That's what they're saying. That's what the allegation against him was.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. It's like, I filled in the blank and said, this is what it is.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. He's got to fill in the blanks report. That makes sense. That's how the one about Jeremy read. It read like a form letter. Yep.
Yep.
It was way too vague. I wonder if, you know what, Tug, he might actually be doing that.
That's wild, man. It's wild to be called out like this, though. I mean, this is bad. bad. Fourth, Mr. Baggett's report does not adequately explain all the methodology he applied to compare the known signatures with question signatures. His report vaguely stated that measurements of the various aspects of writing were taken. Line quality was examined under a microscope, asserting that the comparison of the question signatures to the known signatures showed significant dissimilarities. However, he doesn't explain in sufficient detail either the results comparison yielded or the significance of those results, so as
that would
to
seem
allow
to
the
be
court.
important.
You would think
important to explain.
The court is like, explain it. That's the thing with an expert. You need to explain it where any person can understand it. The everyman. That's who you're explaining it. Pretend you're explaining it to a jury that doesn't understand anything that you're talking about. You know, and he doesn't do any of that. Mr. Baggett does not define line quality or describe the differences in line quality observed. He does not explain what he means by dissimilarities and shakiness, does not identify the specific lettering that is malformed, does not explain the meaning, letter's position, slants, identifies where it appears in the signature, the list of dissimilarities set forth in the report, does not remedy the problem by supplying the necessary detail. For example, here, he lists shakiness in handwriting. The spacing between W and E are different, and the loop in A is similar in all of, again, it's written out here in that word. So the phrases are so vague as to be virtually meaningless. Look at that. These phrases are so vague.
Virtually meaningless. That's what I felt about the report, the royal flush. I'm like, this doesn't mean anything. I've seen nothing conclusive. We read Jeremy's expert's report. It was very well done. It showed example after example. It explained why the letters look the same with the slants and the different, look at this together, look at that together. It had everything explained. I thought it was very easy to read, very easy to understand. But then I looked at what they were showing and it was like, what the hell is this? Two reports could not be further apart.
Indeed. Oh, that's so crazy. For these reasons, though, neither his method in comparing handwriting characteristics, the known signatures, signatures, nor the results he reached are reliable. Fifth, although plaintiff alleges that Mr. Baggett utilized the ACV method, his report does not bear out his contention. Mr. Baggett explained March 2015 report that he used the ACE method. He explained that's the analyze, compare, and evaluate. Mr. Baggett indicates that he added verification step by having another handwriting expert do a second independent examination. I wonder if that's his son, by the way. I wonder if that's the second.
The independent examination? Yeah, probably.
Because it notes he does not name the other expert. He does not state
That's true.
What type of examination that person uses. He does not assert how the individual conveyed his or her opinion to Mr. Baggett. Accordingly, this is an adequate basis for accepting his claim that he verified his results. Thus, after a thorough review of his report, it is apparent that this case is, quote unquote, sorely lacking in evidence regarding his methodology or the reliability of his methods. My God. They can, and again, they compare other court cases. Oh, my Lord. This is so bad. Here's the other reasons. Notably absent from his methodology is any detailed explanation as to how he evaluated documents, drew his conclusion regarding authorship and sequence. When asked during his deposition what methodology he used to determine authorship, he testified that there is no scientific methodology. It's a misnomer. There's not a scientific method in the sense of being a formal procedure. So
This is crazy.
There is no method.
Before you keep going, Rogue Mama found some interesting things on their websites, both the father and the son. But we were wondering, where does the nation's #1 handwriting expert come from? Well, look here. It is because he said so. This is Kurt Baggett's website as seen on CNN, CNBC, and Texas Justice. You found the nation's #1 handwriting expert. Now wait, get this. It gets better. It gets better. Guess who else does the same thing? Wait, did it change? No, it didn't. How do I do it? How do I change it? Oh, I have to remove it and start again.
You are definitely not an expert at changing up here.
No, I am not. Okay. His son does the exact same thing. Wait, where did it go? Oh, there. Oh. No. Why is it doing this? This is so strange. Oh, there. This is so strange. Okay, look. Now Bart does the same thing. How can Bart and Kurt?
How can you both be the #1 handwriting expert? You know?
It's very peculiar, isn't it? And then get this. Rogue Mama actually did a search for who is the nation's leading handwriting expert or whatever, who's a great handwriting expert. And it turns out it's a guy named Bob Beer or Bayer, who is, and he doesn't even claim to be number one. He just says it says he's one of America's top forensic handwriting experts and document examiners. So, and that's according to, Google, I guess. But I mean, it's interesting though that if you notice in those advertisements, you didn't see forensic handwriting expert. You saw handwriting expert. But in the one who is an actual expert, it says forensic handwriting. And that's a huge difference. It's just huge.
This is wild stuff anyway. I mean, when you look at, Lord, I mean, it's so messed up. So let's see. Mr. Baggett did not testify in his deposition, essentially that he blew up the documents and compared the writing to determine authorship, or rather he did testify that, but he did not explain how he accomplished the comparison. There's nothing in the record that allowed the court to conclude based on his vague cursory explanation. The techniques employed in this comparison are techniques that are generally accepted in the field, can be tested or subject to peer review, and are subject to standards that have an acceptable known or potential rate of error. So you don't know how often that fails. That's fascinating. Here, he's not explained his methodology. There's no evidence that other document examiners employed the same methodology. Methodology is subject to peer review, etc. His testimony should be excluded on the grounds. And so methodology also, it should be excluded. So the conclusion there. The court concludes that upon consideration of the relevant evidence that Mr. Baggett does not qualify as a handwriting expert, knowledge, skill, expertise, training, or education. Further, his methodology is not reliant under standards set forth under Dombert. Mr. Baggett's expert report describes a vague and highly subjective method of handwriting comparison with no apparent safeguards against human error. That's bad. Yeah,
Highly subjective, also bad.
Well, I used to. So one of the things that I used to teach as a TA, a teacher's assistant, then a graduate assistant, and then I taught classes on for a bit until I decided college would not be the place for me. Because you have to deal with bureaucracy and some entitlement. But one of the things that taught was how you go in and how you prepare papers, so they can be peer reviewed, how you go in and how you eliminate all of these issues, like what is acceptable. And again, these are under psychological statistics. So a different thing, but nonetheless, one of the things that you have to figure out how to eliminate right off the bat is human error. You have all of these biasing effects, and you always have to safeguard. You always have some type of biasing effect. That's why they talk about, how often that this could fail. And he's not providing any of that because, really, when you look at that, how would you? Like this method, it sounds like because I said so. Hey, girl. Hey, what you doing?
I like to. Maybe I take my blood to be an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
I want to be a cop.
You want to be a cop? Well, those aren't You can take those and play with them. You want to take them, play with them?
What?
Take them upstairs, play with them if you want. You're going to be a police officer for Halloween? Is that what you said?
I'm going to be a minion by good
A minion with handcuffs. Okay. No, take them up and see if they look good with your outfit then. Go and see how they look with it. That'll be cool.
That's good. I think so. I'm going to say Hale.
Okay, well, go play with them and have fun with them.
I want to say don't hear. It's cute.
Okay, well, she found some Halloween decoration. They're giant handcuffs, basically, like chain ones. And she's like, I'm going to dress as a minion, but I'm going to use these as handcuffs because I'm going to be a police officer too. Oh, my Lord. That's good.
When I grow up.
Now, when you grow up, you're going to be a police officer? Okay, I got you. All right, well, take them. Go play with them.
You have to see if they look good.
Okay, well, check them out. Go check them out. All right. Anyway, so this document, again, it ends with recommendations, granting and not granting. And again, they exclude him. I know you couldn't tell that when we were reading all this, that they would exclude him. But yes, they end up excluding him. What do you think of that, Megan? Oh no, Megan is muted. All right. Well, there
No,
are
no, no.
other.
I'm here. I was
Okay.
talking as a
Okay.
muted boomer.
No,
I think it's embarrassing. That's what I think. I
it's
think I would be
embarrassing.
embarrassing. I would be so embarrassed if I had put this guy out there as like the number one handwriting expert. I liked somebody in the chat said it was supposed to say you found one handwriting expert. Not the nation's greatest, not number one, just one.
Just one of those. You found one of the an expert in the nation. That's what it is. Oh yeah, that makes more sense. All right. I'm going to hit some super chats here. We have more document, but my God, it takes forever to go through them. I'm going to consider going through that Revels too, because it depends when they start arguing and being like, no, you don't understand what happened. Okay, we'll take that. Actually, we'll have to. We had another topic with these people eating their own too. But
I really want to get to that. It was so good. Don't we have time to just do a
2.5 hours? No, because I've got raiders coming.
Yeah, the girls are getting squirrely.
They're getting antsy. Yeah, well, the little one went to sleep, took a nap, so she's woke up.
She's going to be up all night.
Yeah, see, she's raiding again. Okay, well, go upstairs for a little bit. Let me finish this, and then I'll fix your TV. Yeah. It tastes so bad that oh Lord, she's got a giant sucker. It's as big as her arm, and she's like, it kind of tastes awful.
That's because of all the red dye in it.
Those so
suckers
funny.
Always have too much dye and they taste bad.
So here's the question. Have you heard about this? I heard some people talking about it. Have you heard about the Internet Archive being attacked? Any thoughts on why? I would guess you and many others.
People other than David Gingras, because he's attacking it too.
No, there's been like a data breach and all kinds of data was dumped for people who documented. And on top of that, there's a discussion over whether or not, that will be back ever. It may be gone forever.
Is it gone? What?
Yes, that's So we may be looking at after that, the Wayback Machine and everything else going the way of the dodo bird.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
It's awful.
This is exactly up David Gingras's alley. He's been online for days now saying, oh, Laura never posted that picture. And we're all like, here's the archive.
Right.
And he's all, there's something wrong with that site. It's not working for me. And it was working for us just fine. And now you're telling me the whole thing is down. It's never going to come back.
That's the thing. I imagine somebody, this is my guess, somebody that didn't want things that were there. Yeah, they probably attacked it.
That's weird because Laura Owens has had that problem this week. She didn't want that there.
Fascinating, isn't it?
And her lawyer thinks he's going to sue us for saying that she posted this picture that we have evidence that she did. Now, I happen to know that all of those archives were saved on hard drives. Right. So the archives still exist, but he'll make the argument that you can't verify it because the site's down or whatever.
Well, unfortunately, she has been verified by a court as being a liar. So,
yep.
Good luck suing, David.
Good luck.
Suing. What a ridiculous bunch of nonsense. No, but yeah, I think that's probably what it is. And said, I would guess that you and many others have used it to investigate BS like AH's lies, boozy bucks, etc. Yes, a lot of people use that to go back, Wayback Machine. That's how we cross-check articles. One of the articles I pulled up, the expert 1 in a million. Mm-hmm. I pulled that from archive. So. Yeah, I'm hoping that all of this does not cripple the archive. Hey, can you hold it down for 1 second?
Of course.
I've got to do this real quick. All right.
Yeah, and apparently, if you're following the Laura Owens story, David Gingras dropped some voicemails from Mike Maricini's mom today, which is so off the charts insane. I don't know what is wrong with him. I mean, can you imagine a third party unrelated to the case? He's putting out her private voicemails. It's crazy. And these bar associations don't do anything about these bad lawyers. Nothing. They're doing absolutely nothing about these terrible lawyers who are acting in such unethical ways. from Bruce to David Gingras. They're out of control. Check this out. Look at this. All right, make sure it's up. Yeah. Look at this. Gingras sinking to new lows today, releasing voicemails from Mike's mother, who has nothing to do with Laura's perjury. Did you see this? Did you see that Gingras dropped voicemails today from Mike Maricini's mom?
What a piece of shit, man.
Yeah. A third party. Look, I love what this person says here. What the hell is wrong with you? These are from Mike's mom, an unrelated third party who may not have known anything at the time and certainly didn't deserve her privacy violated. You honestly think doing this makes either of you look good? This man will never be. I'm telling you, if these bar associations don't actually crack down on this unethical behavior and take their own rules seriously, from Bruce to Gingras and everybody in between who falls into that category, what good are they? What good is having a bar
Wasn't
association?
Gingras warned not to do some bullshit? Like,
he was given a strongly worded email that said,
yeah, well, he's
talk
done
like
it again. So,
yeah,
I mean,
they're not going to do shit. I guarantee you they will not do anything to him. You know, they won't even respond to my press inquiry either. They have refused to respond totally.
Circling the wagons, man.
It's
That's
awful.
what they do. People, man. I hate these people. Sandra D, thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you very much, Sandra D. Appreciate you there. Thank all, again, the gifted memberships have been falling too. Thank you. I've seen them all night long. Thank you all. John, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Beginning of many. Thank you, John. Gamer Jackie, what's up, Gamer Jackie? Thanks for the 2. Megan, is Turtle Purgatory underwater? Drowned Sims. Oh no, poor Sims.
No, it's not underwater, but I am having a hard time keeping LMNOP and John out of the turtle pools. They keep either swimming or bathing in there. Today, I thought John was dead. It was really scary.
No.
I thought he drowned in the turtle pond, and I was very scared. I was like, do I do CPR? I don't know what to do. It turns out he was just like sleeping or something. It was fine.
That sounds scary. Man, I almost lost a sim to the turtle pools. Tie Stick, thanks for the 2. I'm the greatest super chatter on earth. Indeed. Thank you. The greatest super chatter.
Perfect. The number one. You could say the number one.
Yes.
Super
you could,
chatter.
Yes. And if you want to add handwriting expert to that, I suppose you can.
Might as well.
Yeah. SF, thanks for the 2. Does he sell snake oil too?
Oh God.
I feel like, yes, he actually does. It's called documentation. John,
it's called witness expert testimony.
John, thanks for additional 5 gifted memberships. There's 10 there. Thank you, John. Appreciate you always. Props to you. Props to your wife too. Hope you all are doing great. Stick, thanks for the 2. Praise our AI overlords. It's Suzanne, thanks for 10. Money for 10 for foil hats to keep out the AI, of course. Yes, of course. Shieldmate, thanks for that. 22 months there. You guys really are the tonic I needed today. God bless you. Hey, well, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Vanessa, thanks for the 10. Umbrella Guy, a chat member is asking if you could please enlarge. My bad. Actually, I enlarged them. They were up to as large as we could have stretch the screen, but for some reason today controls have been a little weird, so like it cut off. There were 2 super chats I read at the beginning. They don't show anymore, so yeah, they've been a little wonky today, so I apologize. I would have actually, let me do something for you guys. Give me 1 second here. If you want to look at that document, let me put this in the live chat. Okay, so there's the link to the case that we went over. If you actually want to look at that, I would suggest too that, when you're looking at it, I wonder, can I ban myself out of the chat? It asks me, I was trying to see if I could pin it, and through StreamYard, it asks me if I can I wonder if I can put myself in timeout.
I don't think you can't. I tried it the other day too, because I accidentally almost timed myself out. I don't think it lets you.
I was like, it's funny. The first thing you're like, can I do that to myself? John, thank you for an additional 5 gifted memberships. There's 15. Thank you, John. Yeah, appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very much. Ruth, thanks for the 10 there. Thanks, Vanessa. I'm repaying you and very sad. Appreciate you asking. Yeah, we've had, like I said, sometimes StreamYard, it's great in the fact that we can connect here and stuff, but sometimes it's not friendly in the fact that, when we go through enlargements. Now, as far as the, where it showed, it was up to 175%. So it was as big as I could without trying to full screen it. And it didn't want to go full screen. Suzanne, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships too. Thank you, Suzanne. Appreciate you. Thank you there. John also noted for if you'd like to have a membership, turn on gifts. And that's the thing. If you're here anyway, make sure that you have the ability to receive gifted memberships if you want to, because that's cool. I love that feature. I know. Thank you, John, too. Appreciate that. Tie Stick, thanks for 2. Trust me, I'm XBURP, X-burp.
An X-burp.
An expert instead of an expert.
I like the beer emoji next to it.
I thought that was funny. Took me a second. I was like, wait a minute. John, thanks for another 10 gifted memberships. 25 there. Man, thank you, John. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Alu, thank you for a gifted membership and another one as well. Thank you very much, too. Appreciate that. Suzanne, also thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Man, the memberships are raining, by the way. Yes, make sure anybody, you have your ability to accept gifts because, well, this happens. And people are I love that feature, too. So thank you all. Dublin comes to Boston. Thanks for the 5. Whoever thought to put you 2 together? Love it. Genius. Thank you. Yeah, actually, we just did it one day. We were like, hey, we've never been on streams goofing off together. We need to correct that. So that's kind of how that happened. And it's been fun. Elu, thanks for another gifted membership too. Thank you very much there. Appreciate you. Suzanne, thanks for the 10. When his name was first mentioned, I Googled #1 handwriting expert, and page did come up. Must have done something for that to happen. When you Googled it, so yeah, when I had #1, when I looked up #1 handwriting expert, I didn't hit Baggett, but I hit a lot of I didn't hit his website at first, but I hit articles on him. So, like Megan said, he must have one heck of a team for the SEO.
Mm-hmm.
We had another request for the document enlargement. Thank you for asking, Vanessa.
That's what she said.
Indeed.
I was waiting for my moment with the enlarging comments, and I just never got it quite
enlargement.
Right.
Extra large and extra hard.
That's hilarious. Bonnie, thanks for the 5. Mr. Baggett is an expert. Mr. Baggett is not an expert.
You are not a nice person.
And John noted too, if people don't understand, if they want a membership and they don't understand how that works, like multiple people can explain how to get that turned on too. And John popped another 10 gifted memberships too right after that. Man, thank you, John. I saw them come in. I saw John and other folks like at the top. Man, like I said, I appreciate that. Jesse, thanks for the 5 there. So Lynette hired a liar that is hiring a liar expert. Makes sense. Yep. Charlie says,
Tug, the chat is reporting that the Butter Twins are threatening to come after me for the Sims game. Can you imagine what it will be like for me to roll in as evidence, not only Lego Turtle Purgatory, but Otter Creek Sims Edition? Your Honor, let me explain. What in the hell? Can you people not have a little fun? Can you not have some fun?
You know, it's weird. Wait. These are the same people that like doxing and bringing up really fucked up things about people, and they, you know, they want to throw fits about Sims and Legos. Man, are you kidding me?
I know the Butter Twins may need to join the Sims. That may need to happen. That may need to happen. They may need to join the game.
Activate.
Butter Twin powers.
Oh my god!
I did buy the werewolf package, so maybe I can make them both werewolves because I don't have any werewolves yet.
Huh? Man, there's just the population grows.
Call them Barbie Butter and Bobby Butter. Barbie and Bobby Butter. Say that 10 times fast.
One time fast. Come on. Like 10 times fast, my butt.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. That's funny. The blah, 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 barber blutter. Love it.
All right. Butter Twin 1, Butter Twin 2. How's that?
BT1. Oh, my God.
Charlie, thanks for the month. Created a game with me in it like this, I would be laughing hysterically. I don't know why no one has a sense of humor. I don't get it.
Because they yeah, have you really checked these folks out? I mean, you don't really understand. Like I said, I love the fact that they're turning on each other. That is a discussion for another day. My God, that is something I did want to hit today, but we will have to. That needs its own time. That needs enough time to laugh at properly. So, Charlie, thanks for the month there. He's like Trooper Paul in KR. The Trooper Paul for really. So Travis, thanks for the 2. These people are crazy. Lynette should go to jail. All of this is insane. And again, like Megan was pointing out, if they didn't plan to utilize this and just do this over and over again to attack Jeremy and to say that, oh, he created this as some kind of insane conspiracy, yeah, that's definitely looks like defamation. So again, put it in court, it can get destroyed, or it may get put in court anyway. That would be really funny, wouldn't it? Because there's plenty of stuff to say, hey, look at this. This is what they utilized and they tried to throw our way. But SF, thanks for the 5. We'll watch just about anything. For F's sake, we watch Megan struggle with Sims for about 4 hours so far.
And I know for a fact it is not the content. It is watching me struggle that you enjoy. And who wouldn't? I mean, I am hilariously not gifted in the technical arts.
There have been so many people that, it's not playing proficiently, it's playing hilariously. There's the difference.
We still need to do the truck simulation stream together.
Hey, Chads, thanks for the month there. 1 month on Tugs Thugs, and I'm not banned. Epic. Welcome to not being banned. Oh, it's awesome. Danny's World, too. Thank you for a gifted membership and another gifted membership there. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, because I love those. Rogue's Mom. Rogue Mama, I said Rogue's Mama. Rogue Mama, thanks for 3 months. The Sun, Bart Baggett's website, also says he's #1 expert. Yes, he pulled that up. That is funny. I think so. Hanging Chad's also 5 gifted memberships. There's 5 more people. Take the month challenge and see if you don't get banned. I love it. Thank you. Appreciate you. Rick, thanks for the $2 super chat. No statement attached. Plenty of statement backing. Thank you. Dark Side Harley Girl, thanks for the 5. Mr. Baggett has a BS, an MS, a PhD. That's bullshit. Yes, more sheet pile at high and deep from Gumby University. Gumby University. It sounds like a perfect place to go. You can stretch the truth. Great times. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Becky, thanks for the 10 there. I'm extremely sad to say my mother's maiden name was Baggett. That's okay. Every Baggett is not that Baggett, so it's okay. Hey, what are you doing?
Boy,
Hmm?
do it just.
What am I doing? What am I
The
doing? I'm
super
finishing.
chats.
Yeah, those are super chats. You're right.
I'll
Mhm.
help.
Candy
You're
money.
gonna help it. You're gonna help. Okay. Well, read that super chat right there. Like, what does it say? Can you see that one?
Yeah.
Actually, here, let's see. Can you say, L. Lou?
Hello.
Thank you for the gifted membership. Appreciate that.
Thank you for this. It.
Yeah, the gifted membership.
There
There you
I
go.
guess add a little love.
Oh, add a little love to it. Yeah.
I love.
There you go. That's pretty
So
good.
cute.
Add a
Yeah.
little love because I love love.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
How many super chats do you have, Dad?
Oh, there's a few more. There's not many. There's less than 7 more. You know, here's one more that you can say. Jib Bunny.
Somebody
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for the membership.
Thank you for the membership.
Welcome to Doug's Thugs.
Thank you for. I got a little love for a little bit more.
Can you say thank you? Say welcome to Lug's Thugs.
Okay, love.
And
love.
Lug's Thugs. That's good. All right.
Love.
Okay. Hey.
Love.
Okay. Well, here, I've got about 5 more to finish. So I got to finish these on my own, and then we'll chillax and do something. Okay.
I'm in with my TV.
Yeah, we'll look at your TV. I'll look at your remote. Okay. All right. Her remote is not working right. It's a tragedy. So I'm going to fix it. Yes. It's like, I understand.
She did a great job reading.
She did read. She was doing great with those.
Good for her.
These are the 5 there. Megan, my sister, has been advised to have spinal fusion surgery. She's terrified of it. Apparently, get worse and worse, requiring more fusions. Man, I hate that for her. You know?
Yeah, that's.
And
it's just terrible. I am so sorry. I know that surgery. They say surgery is like the only option for this stuff. I'm trying to avoid it as long as I can. And yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so many people deal with so many horrible situations. That's one of the things, like I said, I love that we can come together, goof off, and forget things for a hot minute because the world is ugly sometimes. And we can laugh at stupid together, you know?
Yep.
I think that's the best thing. Laughing at stupid. It's great medicine. John loves your family, though, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, prayers for your sister. That's an awful place to be. And you know what, though? For some people, it goes well and they're out of pain. So you never know. You never know.
Lynn, thanks for the 2. Please claim he's been involved in 6,000 cases.
So they don't even know. They don't know.
60 million cases.
Are they sure it's not 600,000?
I mean, hey, why not? 6 billion. Like, wait a minute, 60 billion. You're like, there's more cases than people. Well, hey.
You know what's going to be hilarious? When the evidence comes out in court that since all of this started with the bad neighbor wars, that Jeremy's channel has lost a ton of money. There goes their argument that he wrote the signs himself. To what? Ruin his channel?
Yeah. I just don't, again, if you're going to write something and leave it up, like their own argument, it was left up 40 minutes according to them, their own.
How do they know when they went up?
They were saying, well, daylight time. They were like, well, according to this, the sun came up at this time. They were retrieved at this time. So there were 41 minutes of daylight, So in that, no damage could have. It's like, are you kidding me? You're going to leave up a sign?
They were on a highway.
Well, and
on a highway.
Things. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't want one person, even the people who retrieved it, I wouldn't want them seeing it, let alone anyone else. Kim, thanks for the 2. One of the examples used was LP write the sign words. I'm not sure what that says there.
One of the examples used was LP writing the sign words. Oh, yeah. What this means is that the handwriting samples that they had from Lynette on the court documents that she filled out had the exact same words that were on the sign. Levy County, and Jeremy Hales. Those are 4 of the words that were on the signs. And so they had word to word comparison. Like there's no the handwriting sample they got from her was like 4 different documents, and they all had Jeremy Hales' name on it and Levy County written over and over and over again. So that's really good evidence.
Yeah, when we look through too, I like that we had methodology and everything else. You know, it was spelled out again. People could come to their own conclusions and decide exactly what was there. You know, that it wasn't just I believe it happened because I said so. Wow. I mean that's but again, if you determine if you're just using this for the court of public opinion, again, a lot of people were just like, "Yay, bravo! So great!" This dude said, "I can't." No due diligence. Travis, thanks for 2. Hearing again, Bug makes me miss my kids. Love them. Yeah, they're great, man. I'm missing your kids, dude. I hope whatever is there impeding that, I hope that can be fixed, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. Travis, also thanks for 2. Soros funded. Are we talking about the are we talking about the butter twins?
I think he means the archive.is.
Yeah, the archives. I just thought that was funny.
That was funny.
Maybe the worst example of Soros funding I've ever seen.
What poorly wasted money that would be.
Exactly. Rhea Rye, thanks to the 2. Butter twins are Patty and Selma from Simpsons. Oh my God.
God, and they still haven't figured out that mute button, I don't think. Of course, I haven't been back in a while because I can't take the phlegm. The phlegm is just too much.
Suzanne, thanks for the 5 there when possible. Both of you, reading. Like, can we both have a dual stream? Love those. So both get surprised. Yeah, so we simul stream. Usually the way we do that, honestly, is that I set aside Tuesdays to make sure I can go on Megan's. I'll go on if I have, like, I would have gone on today, but I was doing that weird thing called working. So I kept thinking, how can I slip away and do? I was like, better not do this.
Poor Brad got stuck on the stream and he was like, I'm not going to get my work done today. I have to leave. I've got to go. And like an hour later, he's like, I have to leave.
That's so funny.
This is too fun.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of it. I sat in there and, I'll comment every now and then when I can. Oh, let's see. That stuff is it's been entertaining so far. And Suzanne, sorry for the crummy time. No, it made sense. I understood there for sure. Yeah, but with the, instead of simul stream, doing that. So in order to build both channels up and help out, like, again, I'll dedicate a day. It'll be Tuesday for sure, set aside, and Megan comes on Thursdays. So, and we
missed this Tuesday because my son was sick and I needed to do parent stuff.
It happens. I mean, we've missed Thursdays before too, but typically, I mean, we do set them aside, and it's fun. I think whenever I get a chance to come on anyway, I think it's fun. I try to. Always have fun on the stream.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Let me see. All right. Well, I think I'm done. So, yeah.
All right.
I'm going to call it a day. I appreciate you folks, and we'll end here. Thank you.
See ya.